Well, let's put this on. That doesn't sound like... Oh, yeah. No, the bar says it's making sound. Why don't I hear it in my ear? I don't hear my own voice, that's why. All right. Kelly is here. Another one to say is here. My slideshow's almost done. I've done no prep. Thought the screen is supposed to be open. 20 seconds. I'm sure I can figure it out. This clip. Share it. Okay, looks like we're ready to start. So open up this screen and say hello. Okay, yep, that's working. Welcome to the stream. Here it is, day 6.5. We'll be watching the back half of the day 6 video. This is Lee Broderick testimony today, so that's quite exciting. This is the other of Betty's daughters. I did a little research last night to find that Lee is one of the daughters who supported Betty's parole, but she's still appearing as a state witness today. The earlier testimony we got from Kim. She was the daughter who opposed parole, and the sons similarly were split. Danny opposed parole, and Rhett, I'll check on that. I'm pretty sure it was Danny opposed and Rhett, but it was one each of the brothers, one each of the sisters that supported parole. Betty went up for parole in 2010 and 2017. Her 2017 went so bad that they gave her 15 years until she could apply again, which is the maximum amount of time between parole applications for people who are eligible for parole. So she got the 15-year max. That's coming up on 2032. So Betty will be 84 years old at that point, which is, yeah, interesting. Anyway, today we are getting started with Lee Broderick. All right, it's not Linda Stout, so we'll get rid of the on-screen information that says otherwise. Well, maybe we'll even... No, I'll hide it for now. I'll hide the train because Linda's gone. You okay? Yeah, that's a bit of a cleaner screen. Myself up a little bit too. Myself back under the 90s, above the CourtTV logo. Fix our frame. We don't need the advertisement from YouTube showing. That looks good. No, a little white bar on the side. Okay, that's a better frame. Oh, I think the watch live is part of the broadcast feed that's going to disappear shortly after they get started. All right, opening up the chat on my side phone so I can see if you guys are telling me I'm on mute. Nobody's complaining that I'm on mute. That's a good sign. Well, lots of chat already. Is this yesterday? No, this is now. Holy. All right. Well, there's 10 straight A students sitting here in the chat. You guys are talking it up. A to B says hello, is in training with her boss in a little bit, but be around after that. Special shout out to A to B. It was the comparison to Hermie the Elf that made it into my Betty B doing the do short today. So thank you, A to B, for that suggestion. I've said hello to Kelya, and another one to say. We've got Ocean Sounds. Victoria Carmen's back. Glad to see you here. A to B, Kitten Pusher, Ocean Sounds. Victoria Moreland. Right. Now let me just go into the top fans, make sure I'm not missing anybody. No, I think we've got everyone. All right. Let's start the day off, and I'll take a breath, roll a joint, and get myself in sorts. And let's just listen to, let's let Lee take the show away. We've got about 3.5 to 4 hours of footage for today.
Gordon Broderick, Broderick. R-I-C-K.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Lee.
Hi.
I take it you're the daughter of the defendant, Lee Broderick.
Yes.
Daniel Broderick was your father.
Yes.
Kim is your sister.
Yes.
And your two brothers are Danny and Rick.
Yes.
Got that all right? Let's go back now to November 5th, 1989. Do you recall on that date living at 863 Sapphire Street in Pacific Beach here?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You wait till I finish the question.
She's eager.
In San Diego here?
Yes, Pacific Beach.
Okay. And on that date, were you living there with a boyfriend by the name of Jason?
Yes.
And you've been living there for approximately 8 months?
A little bit shorter than that.
Okay. On that date, early in the morning, do you recall receiving a phone call?
Yes.
What time was it approximately?
Approximately around 7 a.m.
Did you answer the phone call?
Yes, I did.
Who was in the line?
It was my mom.
What did she tell you?
She said she was in trouble and she needed my help.
What else did she say?
She told me that she shot my dad. She shot the son of a bitch. She wanted to come to my house. And I told her to come. She said she was at a payphone in Claremont and she would be right over.
Did you say anything else that there might be a situation where she might not make it?
She said she'd be over if the police didn't pull her over first.
And the words, excuse me for repeating it, but the son of a bitch, that isn't your characterization. That's what your mother said on that day?
Yes.
Did she then later come to your house or your
Yes.
apartment? And how long did it take her to arrive?
About 10 or 15 minutes.
Once she got there, did your mother tell you more about what went on?
Yes.
What did she tell you?
She told me that she thought she had shot my dad, but she didn't know because it was dark and drapes were drawn. She wasn't sure.
Did she say how she was talking about your dad living at Cypress?
Yes, she said she went over to the house with the key and she tried the front door, but it wouldn't work, so she went around to the back door with the key.
Did she tell you whether or not the key worked in the back door?
Yes, she said that it worked. She went into the house and up the stairs and around the TV room.
Now that would bring her into the back entranceway into your dad's bedroom. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did she tell you what she did next?
She said she shot the gun one time, but it fired 5 or 6 times.
It just fired.
She told me that she didn't know what had happened because the drapes were drawn and it was completely dark. I was asking her if she had hurt anyone, if there was any screams or blood or anything like that. And she told me that she didn't think that she had hurt my dad because he had sat up and said, all right, you shot me, I'm dead.
Did she say when she came in the bedroom before she shot, did she say that she came in behind Dan and Linda?
She just said she went through the TV room.
Would that put her behind, you know where the bed was at that time?
Yes,
Would that have her entering behind their head, so to speak?
yes,
Did she say anything about a telephone?
yes. She told me that she pulled the phone out of the wall and ran away.
Did she say why she pulled the phone out of the wall?
No, I can't remember.
Do you remember stating that earlier that she pulled the phone out of the wall so your dad couldn't save himself?
Yes, I remember saying that earlier. I believe that was my conclusion to why she pulled the phone out of the wall. She did not tell me that is why she pulled the phone out of the wall. I just assumed that that's why.
Did you testify at the last trial in this case that your mother told you that she pulled the phone out of the wall so he couldn't save himself?
Yes, I do remember saying that, but those were not her exact words.
But you did testify that way.
Yes.
Now, when you said that your mother told you that after she had shot the gun, your dad talked to her, what did she say your dad said?
She said he sat up in bed and said, "All right, you shot me. I'm dead."
Then what happened?
She pulled the phone out of the wall and ran away.
Did she tell you that after your dad said these things, that he fell off the bed?
I don't recall.
On the date of the killings, did you have a conversation with Detective Allen?
Yes, I did.
And did you tell him what you remembered in that conversation with your mom?
As best as I could, yes.
Do you remember telling Detective Allen that you said that your mother described your dad saying, "Okay, I'm dead, you shot me, I'm dead," and then he fell off the bed?
No, I don't remember testifying to that. I remember testifying saying, "All right, you shot me, I'm dead." That's all.
Okay. Do you remember telling Detective Allen that, though?
Those exact words, yes.
That your dad fell off the bed after he said those words to your mom?
Yes.
And was that accurate, what you told Detective Allen?
Yes.
Now, when your mom got to your house, did she ask you to call an ambulance or get some help for Dan or Linda?
No.
When she came there, did she have a purse
Yes.
and a gun in the purse?
Hey, Dorgan.
I don't remember seeing the gun, but I told Detective Allen that it was in the house, in the purse.
And that was the day of the shootings?
Yes.
Is it correct that you believe you must have seen the gun when your mom came to your house that
Yes.
morning? Have you seen your mom's gun before?
Yes.
I want to hand you what has been labeled People's Exhibit 23. Is this the purse that your mom brought that morning?
Yes.
You've seen that before?
Yes.
And by the way, the bailiff has just checked this, I'm sure it's not loaded. This is People's Exhibit 24. The gun is, you want me to just hold it for you here?
Yeah, that's the gun.
Okay.
Yeah. And we got to pause it there because do you notice how she didn't want to touch it? The reason I bring that up is because we were all familiar with the Sarah Boone case and how willing she was. Like, no, I'll come down. I'll show you. You want me to grab the bat? I'll show you how I hit the case. No aversion to what should have been, a very traumatic thing to, see presented to you in the courtroom. First time she's seen the suitcase, probably since it's been in evidence all that time. She wanted her discovery. I don't think she was expecting to get the suitcase. But that's just the perfect example of how somebody who does have a traumatic association with a death would react to the murder weapon that Sarah completely, oh yeah, no, I'll show you. It was easier back when I did it. Oh, the night I did it, it was a piece of cake. I zipped him in there like that. Fucking psychopath.
When your mom got to your house, did she tell you to go anywhere?
She asked me if I would go check on my little brothers at the Calle del Cielo home.
Did she also want you to get certain things at the Calle del Cielo house?
Yes. She asked me to look for a key and to look for her phone book.
What was the key to?
As far as I knew, it was to the closet in her garage where she kept her valuables.
Is that a room where she had outfitted with a special lock or deadbolt so it'd be secure?
Yes, I believe she had it installed for that reason, so that she could keep her silver and her wines and jewelry and things like that locked away.
Valuables that she didn't want anybody else to touch?
Yes.
Okay. And how long had she had that safe room?
I can't recall.
A month, 2 months?
I have no idea.
Okay. Did she tell you where the key was?
Yes.
Where did she tell you the key was?
Hey,
In
Dabs for
a
Dummy.
pewter cup on the mantle.
What about her telephone book?
She told me that it would be in the kitchen.
And did you go to Calle del Cielo to get these things for your mom?
Yes.
Now, I take it she stayed at your apartment on Emerald Street?
Sapphire Street.
Sapphire Street?
Yes, she stayed there
And you went to Calle del Cielo?
with Jason. Yes.
Did you get those items that you wanted?
No,
You couldn't find the key?
I couldn't find the key, and I also couldn't find the phone book.
When you were at Kaide Cielo on that occasion, did you run into any police officers?
Yes.
Tell us about that, please.
My brother Rhett was riding his bike around the cul-de-sac, and as I came out of the house, Rhett was talking to me, and the police were hiding in the bushes at the next door neighbor's house. They came out and asked me if I had seen my mother. I said no, and they asked me what I was doing there. I said I was getting my laundry. I went back in the house, got my laundry, and I left.
So it'd be fair to say you weren't quite truthful with the police officers in that case?
I was not truthful with the police officers. I told them I had not seen my mom that day.
Mom
Did
who?
you then go back to your apartment
know,
on
Mom.
Sapphire Street?
Yes, I did.
And was your mom still there?
Yes.
What was she doing when you came back?
She was on the telephone.
Did you have the opportunity to see her on the phone for a period of time?
Yes, I did.
And was she calling quite a few people?
Yes.
Now, where's that phone located?
In my room on the bedside table.
And that's the only bedroom in your apartment?
Yes.
And it's a small bedside table where your telephone is?
As we heard yesterday, the dogs were really easy to kick. Very easy to kick.
Yes.
I'm not suggesting that dogs should be kicked, but if you did see the testimony yesterday, somebody trying to defend Dan tried to explain, oh, well, the dogs are I've even kicked them. Wasn't the best defense of kicking the dog that I've ever heard.
Now, did there come a time a little bit after that your mom decided she wanted to turn herself into the La Jolla Police Department?
Yes. Right when she got off the phone, she asked Jason and I if we would drive her to turn herself in.
And did you drive her to the police department?
We drove her. We got in the car and we started driving to the police station, and she told us that she wanted to meet her friends Diane and Ronnie at a parking lot at the Magic Pan restaurant.
Did you ultimately go to the police department with everybody?
We picked them up at the parking lot and went to the La Jolla police station.
And I don't want to get into hearsay here, but just based on what went on in the car, was there a decision that made that your mom was not going to turn herself in at that point, and you went somewhere else? I don't want you to tell me what other people said, but
she did not decide that she did not want to turn herself in. The other people in the car decided that it would be best for her to get legal advice before she turned herself in.
And your mom agreed with that position?
Yes.
That's actually, it's kind of smart. If you're going to go turn yourself in, better to go there with your lawyer that's going to keep you from getting yourself in any more trouble.
Where'd you go next?
I dropped them off at a telephone.
When you mean them, you mean your mom and...
My mom, Diane, and Ronnie.
Back in the days of payphones on every corner.
Ronnie Brown and Diane Black.
Yes.
Did your mom at that point want you to go to her condominium?
Yes.
And did she want you to bring several things back from that condominium to her?
Diane had suggested to me that it would be a good idea to get some of her legal papers so that we could find her some legal advice to turn herself in.
Just going to pause here to quickly ask the chat, is it just you or is it me? Pinned messages are pinning to the bottom, and all I'm seeing is the first two letters of the pinned message. Usually the pin goes up to the top and it highlights the message. Now it's just the bottom message in my list. Oh, you can click it to see it. But still, usually it gets highlighted up at the top woohoo, I've been pinned.
She told me that to just get a whole box of stuff. And I did not know what was in the box, but I did as I was instructed and got the box.
That was your mom that told you that?
Yes.
And did your mom tell you to bring back your diaries, her diaries, excuse me?
She just told me to get the box and to bring it back to them. I did not know at the time what was in it. I didn't find that out till later.
Did she tell you to bring back her book?
She just told me again to get the box. I had no idea what was in the box.
Did she draw up a list of things for you to bring back from her condominium?
No, she didn't write me a list of things to bring. She wrote down some things that I might need to know. She wrote down a combination to the lock on her storage garage. She wrote down that Mimi Siegel was the person that takes care of her bills and accounts. She wrote down a will, a little thing, a piece of paper that she had Diane and Ronnie sign that said that if anything should happen to her, that my brothers and sisters and I would divide anything that was left of hers.
Okay.
And I believe that's all she wrote to me in the car at that time.
Okay. So she wrote out this little will, and she had Ronnie and Diane sign it as witnesses,
Yes.
and she gave you the will.
Yes.
The last time you testified in this case, do you recall being asked about whether or not your mother told you to bring back certain things?
We were having a really good day.
And you recall testifying that you did tell, your mother did tell you to bring back her diary and her book?
Yes, I did testify to that, but I didn't find out that they were the diary and her book until I actually got the box and opened it up and saw that it was the diary and the book and other legal stuff.
Okay. But you did testify to those things, I think?
Yes.
Okay. And did she tell you where that would be found, this box of legal stuff?
Yes.
Where was that?
She told me it was underneath the desk in the garage.
It might have been a little bit before this, but was there a time when she took off her jewelry and gave it to you?
Yes.
Where did that happen?
Before we got in the car at Sapphire, my apartment, before we got into Jason's car to turn herself in, I had asked her if she would take off her necklace and give it to me.
That was a diamond necklace, I
Yes.
think. And did she have a diamond watch too?
Yes, I believe she took off her watch, her earrings, and her necklace.
And she gave those all to you?
Yeah, she put them on me.
She went into her meeting with the police the same way a mobster goes in for a meeting with the bosses. Like, oh boy, this is probably not going to go well.
Now, when you went, did you then go to the condominium to get your mother's diaries and her book and her other legal documents?
After Diane suggested that in the car in front of the police station, I dropped them off at the telephone, and then I went to her condo with Jason.
Was that the last time you saw your mom that day?
Yes.
And on the way, did you make it to the condominium?
Yes.
Did you get inside?
Yes, we did.
How'd you do that?
We broke in through a window.
And that's because you didn't have a key?
Yes.
Did you locate the items that your mother wanted?
Yes, they're in the garage under the desk.
And on your way back to your mother from the condominium, where you stopped at the police?
On the way out of the driveway to the
There are almost no reliable narrators in this case. Almost everybody who has any inside information or, was there at the scene also has a stake in the outcome of their story. So, yeah, it's a tough case because of that, for sure.
condominium. The police pulled in and told us to get out of our car, to park the car, and get in the back of their car.
Did you later come down to the police headquarters and give a taped statement what went on that morning to Detective
Yes.
Allen? Now, was there a time after you had been at the condominium and talked to the police that you went back to your apartment and saw that there was a message on your phone answering machine?
Yes.
Did you play the message?
The detective played the messages, yes.
And you gave the message to him?
He took it, yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I have a cassette tape and a closing box. It's been marked People Exhibit 55. I would like to have it so marked. It's already so marked. Thank you.
Let's hear this.
The counsel will consent to the playing of the tape this time. Go ahead. I want you to listen to this tape. Can you tell us whether or not this is the tape that was on your machine?
Aw, it's near Halloween.
It's
kind of cute that they decorated. You don't see that in courtrooms anymore. I haven't seen that in a courtroom before.
Before you go any further, stop a minute.
Was that everyone?
I was going to say, and secondly, will both counsel stipulate that my reporter doesn't have to transcribe the tape?
That's correct, Your Honor, but I think we're only looking for one message. Yeah, this was, I think, an earlier message that I might have rewound past.
Poor court reporter, like she doesn't have to transcribe it as he's rewinding it and playing 6 seconds at a time. Like,
well, turn it down low and get to the message you want to play.
I think we're at it right now.
All right, go ahead.
We're going to come over with the police and Lola.
The problem is at the break, we rounded the council, and now I think we've lost our reference point.
You just turn it down low and play it for yourself. Why don't you take a step out in the hall and do it? Just take a step out in the hall for a minute.
Okay.
when I was in high school, well, not high school, it was elementary school. That was kind of if you were acting up in class, you'd get asked to go stand in the hall for a while. I spent a lot of my grade 6 year in the hall.
You can take it to my chambers and just plug it in. If you folks want to stretch for a minute, go ahead. Same with the audience. You want to stretch for a minute, go ahead. Everybody but Miss Earl. Go ahead.
Get some jackets off. How could you be wearing a jacket in the courtroom that has like 12 fans in it and no AC? And who is the ginger fellow? I haven't seen him in the gallery. The attorney just fast forwarding through the tapes in the judge's chamber. Jesus Christ, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I get it too, because I've been editing videos where I know there's a part like Sarah says XYZ. And then I'm listening to like 20 minutes of interview, like, when the fuck does she say it? Especially when you're under the gun, everyone's looking at you, you're in the courtroom. Okay, we're ready, sir.
It is 11:05. I have an appointment with an attorney at 11:30, and I will be going there, seeing that you didn't come back. Don't worry, sweetie. Everything will be okay. I hope you're okay. I don't know if I will. I'll call you again as soon as I can. Thank goodness you have the machine on. Bye.
Was that the message you sent out to you?
Yes.
Now, the next day, in your bedroom, did you find a set of keys on a key ring?
Yes, I did.
And whose keys were they?
My sister Kim's.
Had you seen them before?
Yes.
Where did you find them in the bedroom?
They had fallen between the bedside table and the bed. They're in between.
Is that table that has that has a telephone on it?
Yes.
And hand you a set of keys that's been marked People's Exhibit 47. Are these the keys we're talking about? These are Kim's keys?
Yes.
And these are the keys that had somehow mysteriously disappeared some period of time before the shootings. Is that correct?
My sister had lost them, and she had told me to look around for them.
Had you found him before that time? You didn't see him before that time?
No.
It's true that your mother knew what those keys were.
I believe she would recognize them as Kim's keys.
You testified that she did know your sister's key ring, isn't that correct, at the last trial?
Yes.
And that's accurate?
Yes.
Did your mother ever tell you that she had found your sister's keys in a couch at Calle de Cielo?
No.
Oh.
You don't recall her ever telling you that?
Kelly, the bloody keyboard has not been replaced. You've been upgraded. You are now a Pro C. Welcome to your 3rd month ongoing of membership. It's Drunky the Bear for month 1. It is Bloody Keyboards for month 2. And months 3 to 6 is the Pro C.
Now, is it fair to state that
Ocean Sounds has a bloody keyboard.
for a long period of time before the shooting, your mother made a lot of threats to do things bad to your dad?
Yes.
And is it correct that she said, according to you, quote, Mom always says, strike that. Let's go on to something else here. You saw your mom shortly before the shootings.
Yes.
It was, I think, a day before.
The Friday before.
The shootings were on a Saturday. You saw your mom on a Friday,
Yes.
and that was when you went out.
I think council misspoke. The shootings were on Sunday.
I didn't speak. Thank you. And you were with your mom on Friday.
Yes.
What was she doing fine on at that time?
She was a little bit upset about a letter that my dad had sent to her, but we didn't want to discuss it any further. We wanted to go shopping and have a nice day, so I didn't want to ask what the letter was about. She just indicated to me that she was very upset about another letter that my father had sent her.
Okay. Other than that, was she okay?
Yes.
And you went shopping at Nordstrom's on that Friday?
Yes.
Was there
Nordstrom's.
a number of times when your mother would leave vulgar, obscene messages on the message machine at Cypress where you live with your dad?
Yes.
And did you, from time to time, tell her to stop doing that?
Yes.
And did she say that, basically a quote here, it was a free country and she could cuss if she wanted to?
Yes.
It's true.
Sounds about right.
Afroman proved it.
Did your father at any time ever beat your mother or physically assault your mother?
Not that I saw, no.
And did you see your father ever physically assault or beat yourself, Kim, or your 2 brothers?
He spanked us, but I wouldn't call it assaulting or anything
Was there any,
damaging.
okay. Was there anything inappropriate about the spankings? Were they properly administered?
Properly.
Yes.
You saw nothing wrong with the way he spanked anybody?
No.
Okay. I mean, you probably didn't want to get spanked.
Yes.
I'm going to pause again because I brought it up before, but really this is the last generation where spanking was kind of normal. Like he's asking, was the spanking administered properly? There's no real good way to beat your child, but as short as 35 years ago, it was like, yeah, he was acting out, so gave him a smack. Didn't do anything inappropriate. But I beat him. He was crying. That was it's just a part of our lives growing up. I don't know how we were all okay with it, and I was really disappointed that the minute I grew up and was like too old to get spanked, boom, no kids are getting spanked anymore. There's kids just running around, yelling, grabbing stuff at the mall, and their moms are like, stop that. Tommy, we've talked about this. Just give him a smack. Wouldn't give kids a smack now, but I grew up with thinking that was the way it was supposed to be. We all got our asses, but we used to trade stories about it. We'd sit around, oh yeah, no, I got in a lot of trouble for that. like almost trading war stories. My dad had a crib board. He's no longer with us, so I don't mind. But yeah, he had a crib board that was just this piece of wood that was like, 2.5 inches wide, by a foot long. I had parallel lines on my ass for a week and a half after one incident.
After your mom and dad separated, did your dad indicate that he was afraid of your mother?
Yes.
And that he was afraid that she might do something to hurt him?
Everybody knew that my dad was afraid of my mom. We don't know why.
Oh, and yes, thank you, Victoria Moreland, a new member to the channel. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying me and the channel. Right now, it's Betty Broderick, Sarah Boone, and Afro Man that are my pillars of content. But I want to keep moving. I want to stay nimble. You know, I'm going to keep coming back to the favorites, but I'm going to stick and move. Try and get in there wherever I can for an interesting story. And Betty Broderick's a great example. Nobody's covering this. I'm not copying anyone. Well, except for Criminal Conversations, who covered it last year, and a shout out to them for hosting these videos. But yeah, thank you for joining the channel, and I really appreciate it.
Afraid that your mother might hurt him?
Yes.
And didn't he, because he was afraid of her, take every effort he could not to talk to her or see her?
Yes, he would avoid her all the time.
And even when they had to possibly have contact, let's say when the boys were being dropped off or picked up, he would probably stay in his car and let the boys walk in.
Sustained.
Do you recall when the boys would be dropped off or picked up by either your mom or your dad? What would your dad do?
Usually when my dad had to pick up my brothers or me or Kim at my mom's house, he would call first from his car phone and tell us that he was on his way. He'd be there soon. When we heard the honk, we were supposed to come outside. We would stay in the car and honk.
And that was because he didn't want to have a confrontation with your mother?
Yes.
Now there were some times when
My talk about being the last generation of it being okay to hit kids, some talk about how teachers were allowed to too. And yeah, I remember it was no longer allowed when I was in school, but my elementary school principal on the wall had a collection of straps hung like a BDSM guy. I didn't know anything about BDSM at that point, but yeah, just had a wall of leather straps. Like, so when you got brought in, and you know, this is an elementary school, so I shouldn't have been getting in trouble in grade 3, but I remember being in the office in grade 3 and looking up at the straps. Like, oh, lucky me, born in the generation where only my parents can hit me.
when your mother did threaten your dad's welfare,
Yes.
and she is
That was Mr. Norris. He's probably no longer with us either, so I don't mind saying who it was. But yeah, Mr. Norris. He was also missing a stub of a finger. We heard it was from a farming accident because he owned a farm, and we used to go, like, there was a field trip once a year to his farms where he could pick vegetables. But he was missing his middle finger, and the word was that when he was in school, he gave the middle finger to someone, and the principal cut it off. Stuff that we thought was legitimate stories as
said
school kids.
certain things, such as, they can forgive me for the language, but that she was
I did get smacked with a ruler by a teacher. The plastic kind of bendy rule. She used to have a thing, if you put your pencil through your eraser, if you didn't keep your erasers, pink pearl erasers, as proper erasers instead of pencil covers. Anyway, she'd wrap your knuckles. You'd have to put your hand out on the desk, and then she'd wrap it. That was grade 3.
she said she was going to shoot my dad if he gives her any more shit. Is that a statement you made about
Mrs. Robertson.
your mother threatening your dad?
I could have made that statement. I don't remember that being her direct quotes, but that sounds like something she might have said.
On the day of the shootings, when you had that statement with Detective Allen that was taped, did you tell Detective Allen that she said that she was going to shoot my dad if she gives her
I
any?
object to either this refreshing memory or teaching. Right?
Sustained. We do it, Mr. Burkhoff, let her read it to herself first.
Certainly. You do recall talking to Detective Allen on the day of the shooting?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I believe I have a copy of this transcript.
I believe counsel does. It's
Let it-
page
let it
6
see
of
the
Detective Allen's
Let him see it first.
Report, it's been provided, sir.
I have the tape, not the transcript.
Tam Tam Namaste a little bit later, and that was one of my punishments too. She was from the writing punishment. I must not trip my brother, and you do it 100 times. But of course, you probably did the same thing I did. You didn't write, I must not trip my brother. You would write, I must, not. Because that way, the message wouldn't get through. But they could tell because all your words would start slanting over too. But yeah, every kid I knew that did lines intentionally did it like that so that no subliminal message would seep in.
It's in the tape, and here's the transcript. Well, I would like to have the transcript so I can check it with the tape and make sure it's accurate.
You're entitled to a copy of the transcript.
But do you disagree with that statement that you told Detective Allen?
I'd even sneak in a few because whenever they do, like, I will not, play games with the teacher while the class is in session or some stuff, you just skip nod on a few of them. So it's just like you sneak them in there because they're not checking 100 lines. They're just looking to see that you filled the page. I will do it.
Your Honor, there's been an objection.
Objection sustained until he gets a copy of the transcript to compare with the tape. You have the tape here?
We have the tape available. I don't think we have it in the court.
Detective Wolb, if it's done a few lines.
At a later time.
Okay, thank you.
Ocean Sounds is back. Happy birthday. I don't know if you saw the
The
gift.
gun that your mother had that you identified, she did fire it and practice her shooting with the gun.
She invited me to go to the shooting range with her once. That's the only time I know that she shot the gun.
Another one to say got burned by
Did she
doing
get
the
that gun
lines.
in her bedroom in Coyote Cielo?
Yes.
Did your mother ever tell you that?
Sorry, another trick too. If you ever had to do lines on the chalkboard, if you could find the thing for music, you know how they had that thing that would hold 5 pieces of chalk, and you could draw 5 parallel lines across the board so that you could illustrate music notes. You could get that and write I will, and you'd have 5 perfect copies. It was hard to write with, but if you could, you could.
I just keep it talking about the gun.
Your Honor, I have an objection to
Sustained.
Did your mother ever threaten to do anything with the gun if your father did anything bad to her? Gave her, I guess, in her words, any more shit. I apologize.
Yeah, Mom said she would kill him all the time. I just didn't think she would do it. Yes on the answer to this.
For the line.
I don't really remember. She would threaten to kill him, not specifically shoot him.
She never said she was going to shoot him.
She may have. I don't remember.
There's just so many times she said I'm going to fucking kill him that I can't remember if she said I'm going to fucking shoot him 1 or 2 of the times. She definitely all the time.
Did she have the gun in her pocket when, at least on one occasion, your father came over to either drop off or pick up the boys?
Yes, I saw the gun in the pocket of her robe.
In fact, she showed it to you, didn't she?
Yes.
And again, we're talking about this gun right here she showed you.
Yes.
And this is indeed the gun that she threatened to shoot your father with, isn't that correct?
Yes.
You want to make a record what the exhibit number is?
Yes, Your Honor. For the record, I'm holding the same gun as People's Exhibit 24. Thank you.
Cross sound.
Have you read your transcripts of your?
Feels like the court reporter and the prosecutor are bouncing outfits off each other. Because today the court reporter has a houndstooth ascot or houndstooth flare anyway, in the surrounded by a lovely let's say a chartreuse jacket. Something in a blush anyway.
Your interview?
Yes.
Okay. I would request that I get a copy of those when she's ready to run.
They'll be provided, Your Honor. All right, you're entitled to them.
Does he want it down? We have to make a copy of them. If he wants it down.
Well, I would like them before I finish my cross-examination.
All right.
The,
Charles Grieve, welcome to the chat. Charles Grieve used to know a sweet little old Irish lady who was kicked out of Catholic school for punching a nun. She said she was a sadistic bitch who deserved it.
the time that your mother was, called you that day, what was she like when she called you to come with?
She sounded to me like she was very upset. She needed my help.
When you say upset, how upset was she?
Her voice was shaking, and I believe she was crying. I couldn't see her, but it sounded to me like she was crying.
And did she indicate where she was?
She told me she was at a payphone in Claremont.
And could you hear cars going by?
Yes, I could hear noise in the background.
And did she then come over?
Yes, about 15 minutes later.
Okay. Now, when she, at the time before,
It must be more comfortable in the courtroom because the judge is kind of leaning forward. He's not just leaned back in that, like, don't move a muscle. I'm sweating too much. It must be a cool day. It's, people even had coats. We saw them take them off when they were invited to get up and stretch. So the other days of testimony, maybe they already had them off, but it looked like they came in. Now, this is interesting. So it's October because they've got the Halloween decorations. I guess it just shows me Canada. There's no way I'd be walking around without a jacket in October or be worried about having 15 fans in a courtroom in October. That's Canada.
you mentioned the time that she asked you to bring you to the police station. Had she mentioned that before that?
Yes.
Okay. And so very early on, she mentioned going to the police?
Yes, she was worried that the police were going to see her car out in front of my house.
Judge is back
She
into
didn't want the police to come
position.
and take her from my house. She wanted us to drive her to the police station to turn herself in.
Okay. And when she
Welcome,
arrived
Rita.
at your house, was she very upset at that time?
Yes.
Was she crying?
Yes.
Was she at sometimes a little bit hysterical?
Yes, very.
And when you were talking to her, was this a easy conversation you were having, or was flowing, or were you asking a lot of questions?
I was basically, Jason and I were asking a million questions. She was trying to answer them.
Was she repeating herself sometimes?
She was repeating herself, and she's talking really fast. She was moving around a lot. We couldn't get her to hold still.
Was she answering sometimes, repeating the same thing about
Yes.
what the question was?
Yes.
The during the time that she was there, did she ever get sick?
Yes, I tried to make her a cup of tea and have her sit down and drink it. But she took one sip and ran to the bathroom and threw up.
The did she ever ask you to hide the gun?
No,
Okay, did she ever ask you to hide anything?
no.
The when she told you about trying the key in the front door, she said it didn't work.
Yes, she said she tried the front door and it wouldn't work. So she went around to the back door.
Did that surprise you?
No, not at all.
Why is that?
The lock at my dad's house was hard to open with the key, even though it did fit.
Okay, in the front door.
It would stick.
The and the key is a I mean it's an obvious key, is that correct?
Yeah, it looks like a hotel room key. This one, yeah.
So there's a little tidbit too. Back when hotel rooms had keys, that's another little blast from the past, because I don't think any of us can picture what a hotel key would look like. But then it was obvious. Like, I know they existed, but I would have just imagined a hotel key looks like any other key, just with a dongle on it or something. But
a lot larger than any normal car key or house key.
Oh, okay, those
No.
big keys, so you don't lose them.
I take it that your mother is usually somebody that when she's talking in normal tones, she's a fairly fast talker.
Yes.
When she talks to the children, does she try, even if she's upset, not to appear to be upset? Try as much as she can.
Yes.
Okay. So she'll.
She would hold back her tears if she was
if she
upset
can.
about something. If she could hold them back, she would try.
They're almost like the bathroom keys that the gas stations used to have in the 90s. Like they were always attached to something like super big, so that I left it in there and now I can't find it. It was like on some big stick or something like that. You not know what a dongle is, Detective Wobbuffet? I think a dongle is just any, let me see. I think this is a dongle. And even this could be a dongle. It's a dangling dongle. But yeah, it's just like one of those, I don't know, extra things. So it might have said like, the name of the hotel, like if it was a hotel key with this thing on it. Yeah.
At the time, were you upset?
And yeah, now it's fobs,
given
right?
what her attitude was and what was going on.
Yes, very.
The Did you try to call your father's house?
I tried to call my father's room after my mom had called me, and I didn't know the number. I picked up the phone to call, and I remembered that I don't know the number there. My dad had a separate line in his room and in his office, and I was not allowed to know the number.
I would say that a dongle is anything kind of dangling, but a fob has an electronic component to it. So a fob could be a dongle, but not all dongles are fobs. Guess. Oh, right, and the keys were so big that you couldn't just put it on your own keychain because it had like that big chunk, or maybe even not even no cutout at all.
Did she talk to you at that time about some
Dongle.
papers that upset her that day?
Well, hold on, yeah, because dongles are still electronic things. Like people use them, USB dongles, to plug into laptops and stuff. All right, we're really getting into the weeds here, and this has nothing to do with the game at all. This is why you got to have the live chat on if you're watching this on the replay crew. Live chats are always enabled. I don't do any editing on these videos once they're up, and that way the live chat stays there. And what the hell? Why are they talking about dongles and key fobs so much? That's into it. We're talking about it.
As to what time we're talking about.
No, it's the same.
And when she was sitting there talking to you that morning, did she tell you that she was upset about some papers that she received and she couldn't go on?
Yes.
And you indicated that when you came back, you left. When you came back, she was on the phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
You were there when she was trying to call people. Is that correct?
When I came home, she was on the phone with her father in New York.
And was she upset at that time?
Yes.
Has she been?
Okay, God, I'm getting nostalgic now, but Tam Namaste has said, oh wow, I started in the early 2000s and left around 2020 in the hotel industry, so I totally missed out on those keys and also the old-fashioned manual credit card thing. So I blew my employees away when I was working in the video game store, because by that point it was electronic. There was no RFID chips on your cards, but there was still, everyone had debit cards. Lots of people paid by Visa. But occasionally the system went down, and if you wanted to process a transaction, we still had the old manual thing, but all the kids just, I don't know, what the hell is that? Why do we have that? So eventually we got rid of it, and then we needed one, and everyone's like, where's that thing? And then I took out a pen and said, here, you just do this. They're looking at me like I'm some sort of magician. Like, does that count? I'm like, that's all the machine does, is it's just imprinting the card. And that's all you need? And it's like, it's proof that the card was here, yes.
Trying to call her a psychiatrist?
Yes.
Was she able to get through to him?
No, she tried to call a few numbers to diagnose, but it was a Sunday and he wasn't around.
And then at some point in time, some people came and she left the house to go turn herself in. Is that correct? You drove her to a place?
Jason and I and my mother went together to turn her in to the
Okay.
police.
And you went to a place right across from the police department in La Jolla?
Yes, the La Jolla, I believe it's across the street from La Jolla Country Day.
I thought she did that. The La Jolla cunt. It's across from the La Jolla Country Day. Go back on that, but little Betty, she likes to throw out the C word just like Mom, I think. 30413. Let's go back to 30404.
Department in La Jolla?
Yes, the La Jolla, I believe it's across the street from La Jolla Country Day.
The La Jolla cunt. I believe it's across the street from the La Jolla Country Day.
And you sat in a car outside, and Ronnie Brown and Diane Black were discussing whether she should turn herself in or whether they should try to reach a lawyer first.
Yes, we were all, Jason, I, Diane, and Ronnie were all deciding who should take her in, which one of us should go with her.
I mean, physically walk with her into the police
Yes.
station. And you indicated that she wrote a list out of things for you. Was that a list that she was doing through? Were those things that you were asking her? What am I supposed to do, Mom? What are your numbers?
I believe she was the one to write them down. I didn't ask for the information that she gave me.
Okay.
She just wrote it down on a picture that was lying on the floor of Jason's car.
Okay. So this was something that there was a picture that Jason had in the car, and she just picked it up and said, if I'm going to turn myself in, these are the things you need to know.
Yes.
Did she write the will out in the car?
Yes.
And she had Diane and Ronnie witness it at that time?
Yes, they both signed it.
And whose idea was it to get some of the stuff that were in the house, which ended up being the diaries and her book?
I believe at the beginning, when we started talking about legal advice, it was Diane's idea to go to the condo and get some legal papers. My mom was the one who instructed me where to find the things that she would want.
Now, Friday, do you remember what time you saw her the Friday before? Was it in the morning, the afternoon?
I believe it was in the afternoon, early evening.
Did you talk about anything else that was going on with her that Friday when you saw her?
No, not really. She told me about the letter that she received, and she told me she was very upset about it. We started to get into the conversation. I didn't want to ask any questions because I knew that if I brought it up, it'd put her in a bad mood. We'd never end up going shopping.
Okay.
So I told her at that time that
I bet that's her boyfriend. That the boyfriend's name is Jason. We haven't seen him in court up to then, but 100% the boyfriend. If it's maybe not even the boyfriend from the time, but probably. That's my guess. I'm going to take a shot on
let's
that.
just go shopping. Everything will be okay.
But there's nothing else. She didn't tell you she'd been anywhere else that day or done anything else.
No,
Okay. And was there a reason that you remembered that it was Friday? Was that just because that's when the sale starts for Nordstrom's?
I believe it was the women's half yearly sale. That's how I remember that we went there.
A lot of women, and look at all the women who know exactly about the half-year sale at Nordstrom's. Well, even the boyfriend seems to know too, but there's a lot of smiles in the gallery here. Like, oh yeah, no, that is a big deal. And that starts on Fridays.
Now, you indicated that your mother had the gun in the robe once when your father came over. Is that correct?
Yes.
And she didn't take the gun out and point it at your father, did she?
No.
And she told you that she carried the gun sometimes just because she was scared when your father came over. Objection, Your Honor.
Overall.
Do you assume Tam Tam?
She didn't tell me why she had the gun with her when my dad came over. I assumed that she was scared. She never really told me why she had it with her.
Dabs for Dummy, did I steal another thought right out of your head? Me, it just means I'm connecting with my audience. I'm feeling your vibe. It's coming straight from the phone into my head. Bam, out into the stream. We're symbiotic, the relationship. Together, we are more than the sum of our parts. Yeah, boyfriend, Dabs is on it. He's looking both supportingly and interested. He's the friendly face in the crowd for her to come back to. Beth of a Salesman, your vibes are in the house. There's a bloody keyboard. Welcome to the stream.
Time that your do you remember how your family
Delia thinks the potential boyfriend looks a lot like Hermie the elf.
was before they split up? Did it appear to be a happy family, sad family? Objection, Dennis.
Yeah, overruled. You can answer that.
Before my parents separated, I thought we had a really happy family.
Now,
And that's the real tragedy to all this. Like, you know, as much as the end of the story, there's a clear bad person. In the beginning of the story, it wasn't so clear. And, you know, this family had every opportunity. The kids had every opportunity to have one of the best growing up experiences, you know, that a kid could have. And to have all that ripped away, I don't know, that's the real tragedy to this case.
you indicated that you never saw your father hit your mother. Did they used to argue in front of you? What did they used to do?
If they were fighting, they wouldn't fight in front of us. They would go into their bedroom and lock the door and fight in there.
And was that a fairly, that they would do that right away? They would go in?
I don't remember. I just know that my parents didn't fight that much. I didn't think they fought that much. And when they did, they wouldn't do it in front of us.
Because they were probably just regular, you know, civilized fights rather than before it got super contentious. Where, like, listen to me, you need to wear the good clothes if you want to impress your bosses, and, you know, arguments that were still meant at building the family.
You indicated that that there were times when that your mother left vulgar messages in the house in Cyprus.
Yes.
Is that correct? Were those vulgar messages every time she called? She would leave a vulgar message?
Not every time.
Okay. Would there be times where she would call, where you would get the answering machine and there would be a number of messages from her that were nice, and then the last one or two would be vulgar?
Sometimes if she got through and got to talk to someone, she usually wouldn't use vulgar language. It was only when she couldn't get through a number of times that she'd get frustrated and start yelling obscenities in the phone.
Were you at her house sometimes when you would hear her leave,
Yes.
where she would yell into the phone?
Yes.
Lee does have the same swoop as Hermie.
When she would you ever hear messages coming from the boys at Cypress that made her try to get a hold of them?
Yes.
Were some of them cries for help from them? Some objection to what that means.
No. Sustained.
Be upset. if-
Some, they would be happy. They would just want to talk, pick up the phone, Mom, are you there? And they would just keep rambling off about things and the dogs. And other times they would be upset. They would cry and say, like, they've been waiting all day for my mom to call. Like, why won't she call them back? Sometimes they were upsetting and sometimes they were friendly and nice.
Did your mom keep a portable phone?
At some point in time, she bought a purse phone so that she could carry it around with her in her purse in case my brothers were trying to get through to her.
Yeah. And that was the number that she left with them?
Yes.
You guys have A&W in the States? That's what I'm rocking for my medical snacks today. Couple of bacon and Eggers. That's the friendly A&W bear. Ba-doom, 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 boom. Ba-doom, 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 boom. Ba-doom, ba-doom.
Did you indicated that your father avoided seeing your mother in person, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you know what was going on in court?
No, I did not know. I would only hear things from my dad.
Sustained everything. Just know you answered the question.
Did you have any idea what your father was doing with service or what he was doing with other things that were going on around the divorce?
No.
This is a West Coast podcast coming to you from the Pacific time zone. It's neither Pacific Standard nor Daylight Time because BC got rid of that. We're just doing one time, Pacific time. Us. It's going to be interesting when the clocks switch and Washington State goes back an hour and we just say, fuck it, we're not doing it anymore. Time shouldn't change going south, but it's going to. Satori Hisu, welcome, welcome, welcome. Getting here for late or mid-afternoon East Coast visit. Background sound.
You indicated that your mother, often when she would get mad, her statements would include a lot of times she was going to kill him.
Yes.
So would it
A
always?
lot of times.
I mean, how would she say that? Would she say he's making me so mad I could kill him, or would it all differ, or?
It would all.
I'm a few hours north of Spokane if you're in Washington State.
It would all differ, but it all referred to her not being able to go on like this, and if things kept going the way they were going, she was gonna have to kill him.
Okay.
Excuse
and I
me.
take it that would have been an expression she'd been using
I'd give
for a
myself
long
the
time.
hiccups.
Yeah, she would tell all of us she was gonna kill us if we wouldn't do what she said. Like, take out the trash or I'm gonna kill you. But we didn't take it seriously, of course.
Did
A lot of
you,
threats of death.
Did you ever? You indicated you saw the gun one time.
Yes, I've seen it A few times.
Okay. And when were the few times that you saw him?
Well, my dad had come to me and asked me if my mom had a gun, because he had heard that she did have one from my brothers, and he figured that I would know, if anyone, because I was the one that spent the most time at my mom's house. So he came to me and he asked me if I could find out if my mom had a gun or not. So I went to my mom's house. I asked my mom, everybody knows you have a gun. Come on, I want to see it. And she said, wait here. She made me wait outside her bedroom. She went into her room and got it and came back out and showed it to me.
Now, there had been rumors started about her having a gun for a long period of time, had it not?
Yes, I had heard she had a gun from my brothers and from Linda and from other people besides her.
Okay. Had you ever, no, I'm talking about even before this gun was bought. Had it been going on for years, people saying that she had a gun?
Yes.
Had you ever seen another gun?
No.
The morning that the morning of this incident, where your mother came over your house, I have a moment here.
Certainly.
Can ask the chat to weigh in on this, but Beth, the salesman's been told by her boss that a chit chat is requested at 2:00. Kelly says that could be good. It's bad if they just say chat, I think. That makes sense to me. I think adding chit to it diminishes the chat to a chit chat. It's not a serious chat or we have to have a talk after you get off work. It's just a chit chat. It could be about a promotion. It could be, hey, you've been doing this well. Have you ever thought about moving into upper management? Raise? A lot more responsibility, a little bit more money. That's how it always works. You end up working twice as hard, but the title is the draw.
You indicated there was at least one occasion where your mother and father got into an argument and your father hit your mother. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that was in regards to the time when your mother ran the car into the front door?
Yes.
You don't have a chit chat about a firing, that's for sure.
Did
Whatever you do, Beth, don't tell her that you only have time for a chit. I think that wouldn't work.
you indicated that your father, there was at times where he's never actually physically struck you, is that correct?
Excuse me?
He's never physically struck you other than to spank you?
Yes.
Okay. Was there a time where you would make sure, where you knew that when your father was in a bad mood, where you would stay away from him?
Yes. If Linda came home from the office and told us that he had had a bad day at the office, we would stay out of his way and try and be good.
Yeah. And you knew that when your father, you'd been around when your father would get mad at things and start destroying them, didn't you? Okay. And the kids would make sure that they stayed away from him during those times?
Yes.
Okay. And there would be times when your mom and dad were still living together and married, and your mother would tell you when your father was in a bad mood to be quiet and stay away.
Yes.
And making the chat rain with hearts. I love
Your
it.
Honor, there's some questions that they went into from the transcripts that I want to check the transcripts on against the tape. I wonder if this is an appropriate time for that.
Yes, can I see both counsel sidebar off the record regarding scheduling, just before we recess?
They may be recessing. We probably aren't. Might get some out.
Have
Nope.
to check and make sure we're still on the
Same
same
outfits.
schedule we thought we were on it last time we discussed scheduling. It would appear things are going, believe it or not, a little faster than we thought.
Huh.
It's anticipated the people's case will end the early part of next week. As you can see, we have a significant number of exhibits that we have to do rulings on or have discussions on outside your presence. Rather than wait until the people rest, which is when we normally would have those type of discussions at the end of their case, which would cause a break in the testimony, and to have us be able to go right from the people's case into the defense case, counsel have agreed that we'll do that tomorrow. So we'll do that outside your presence tomorrow. We'll be in session on this case tomorrow, but we won't need you for what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So you, in effect, get tomorrow off.
Oh, he's talking to the
So
jury.
we'll see you folks Monday at 9 a.m. Please
I totally thought he was talking to the witness the whole time, but
remember the admonition not to discuss the case among yourselves nor allow anyone else to discuss it with you, nor form any opinions on it until it's finally submitted to you. And again, an additional caution, please be extra careful not to watch anything on television that has to do with this case.
because this is starting to get televised on CourtTV. He didn't mention that in his previous admonitions, but this is probably just starting to get traction because televised trials weren't a thing. There was no OJ yet. There was no Menendez brothers trials yet.
Have a nice weekend.
But he's probably aware of like, oh, this is actually, people are watching this? That's crazy. Thomas Whelan. Let's see what we can find out about Judge Thomas Whelan.
Miss Lee Broderick, if you resume the stand, please. You're still under oath from last week, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Rowley.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just have a moment.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. So he was in office for 10 years as the state district judge in the Southern District of California. He'd only taken the bench a year
During
before.
the week or 2 weeks before the death of your father, did you have any conversations with, involved in any conversations with Kim about Arizona, Greece?
Yes, I did.
What was Kim's attitude and demeanor during that time?
She was very upset about her situation with the apartment, and she was also upset that my dad wasn't sending her money.
Did she mention why she was upset that her dad sent her money?
Well, she wanted to get an apartment in Arizona, and my dad told her that it was too expensive and to keep looking for a cheaper place. And she cried to my mom and told my mom that she really wanted this apartment, and my mom agreed to give her money.
How did Greece come into it?
Well, my mom and I didn't know that my dad was paying for his friends to go to Greece. We found out through my sister that he was paying for the whole trip for everyone to go.
And how was Kim when she would go over your mother's house? What would Kim's demeanor be? Would you ever see her upset?
Excuse me, objection, Vegas to time.
Sustained.
Objection. Kim's automatically a nice person. Facts already in evidence.
During the time after the split between your mother and...
No offense to Kim. She seems like a perfectly fine person, Kim Broderick. I bet even the real Kim is just lovely. I bet she donates time at the local animal shelter, probably works with sick kids in a hospital, and on weekends is scrubbing oil off ducks for Habitat for Humanity. And yeah, I bet Kim is just like the person of the year if you got to know her.
Father, did your mother ever come over and talk? Did Kim ever come over and talk to your mother about problems she was having at your father's house?
Yes, she did. She would often come over very upset and tell my mom about her problems with my father.
Okay. Now, was this something where your mother had to pry it out of her? She'd come over and tell her?
No, she'd just come over and in tears and explain why she was upset.
There's Betty.
When you were living with your father, and this is after the time they separated, would your father drink at home?
When he came home from work, he would usually make himself a drink, either wine or gin and tonic. When he got home, he'd usually do that and sit down and read.
Now, when your father...
I saw photos from Betty arriving to court in different outfits, and this particular outfit, she looks a little bit pale and wan, like she hasn't done her makeup the same. She's not as confident walking in the courtroom as she was on some of the other days. I'll see if I can find that picture.
Would your father usually eat dinner at home?
Yes, he would eat dinner at home Monday through Friday.
And would he stay home then after he had dinner, or would he leave sometimes?
So it varied. Sometimes he had meetings scheduled that he had to talk in. Sometimes he would stay home. Sometimes he would go to movies. It all depends.
And would this be something he would usually do after the maid left?
Yes.
Now, on weekends, would your father, when he wasn't going out of town, would he go out on Friday and Saturday?
Yes, he would go out with his friends.
And who would stay home with the children?
Either Kim and I would babysit Danny and Red.
And was there times that your father would pick you up places after he had been drinking?
Yes, he would pick me up at my friend's house in La Jolla, and before I had a driver's license, and I would sometimes drive the car.
Okay. And would he always? What would be his condition?
Well, if him and Linda had been drinking and they had to come someplace to pick me up, he would ask me if I would drive the car, because I had a permit to drive with a person 25 or older in the car. So he would ask me to drive.
Would his condition? Would he always be? Would there sometimes he'd be very drunk?
Objection, Your Honor, reading.
Sustained.
Okay. How would his state of intoxication vary on those occasions?
Hold on, leading? So I thought the cross you're allowed to lead the witness. Maybe this is a California thing. I'm not an expert, but I've definitely understood that you're allowed to lead. I'm wrong.
Well, it appeared to me that he had been drinking and he didn't want to be pulled over for another drinking and driving violation, so he would try and have me drive if he had consumed alcohol that night.
Okay. And how would the condition? Can you describe? Were there extremes? I mean, sometimes drinking a little, some a lot, or
sometimes he'd drink a lot. Sometimes he'd just have a couple drinks. It all depends on where he was and what he was doing.
Do you
Yeah, this is the outfit she's wearing for this day of court.
when you testified about sometimes your father's demeanor, did he ever do anything with the dog?
No, the hair's different. Same outfit,
Yes,
but
he
it's not the
didn't
same
like
day.
the dogs. He would call them names and kick them.
Now, during the time, how would you describe, did you have people that came at the house? Were they there just babysitters? Was there a little of them?
Out of the way, Droopy.
Well,
From the time that your mother and father separated,
we had many babysitters from the time they separated. There was different ones. A lot of them didn't work out. We tried some and they were fired. Others we just didn't like.
Did Linda David, was she there?
Yes, she was a babysitter at one time.
You saw her on the witness stand?
Yes.
Did she look when she was babysitting there like she did on the witness stand?
No, she looked a lot different. She used to wear an earring in her nose, and
That's the smile from Mom. Like, nope, she was a punk rock girl with a little nose stud.
she looked a lot different than she does now.
Okay, and did she have, after when your father wasn't around, did she have people visiting her?
Yes, her boyfriend would come over at night if my father was not coming home.
And
I remember dating babysitters that would invite me over at night.
and what did he look like?
We didn't object to relevant.
Sustained.
Did your mother complain about his
Yeah,
looks and being over there?
She didn't like the way Linda David looked. She thought she looked like trashy, and she didn't want my sister and I to dress like that. And she thought it was a bad example for Linda David and her motorcycle boyfriend to come to the house while my dad wasn't there.
Her motorcycle boyfriend.
Were there other problems that your, at least mother got involved with sometimes, some of the babysitters or people bringing boyfriends over?
Yes, she also had a problem with Robin, our other babysitter. She
Robin
didn't like
Tallulah.
the way she thought Robin was rude. She didn't like the way Robin yelled for us whenever she called, and Robin's boyfriend would also spend some time at the house.
Was there a time where your father was out of the country and your mother was called about bringing food and medicine over?
Yes, when my father went to Europe, I called my mom and asked her if she could bring some food and some medicine over because we were sick and had the cold. And I believe we spent the money that my dad left on miniature golf and pizza and things like that.
This is the CourtTV guy's frame. I don't know why
for the
he's
rest of the week we didn't have
doing
any
this.
money to buy things because we had spent it already.
I don't know what's wrong with the cameraman. Like he might have just passed out. And, but I've got up a picture of what I think the babysitter looked like with her motorcycle boyfriend.
Do you know whether your mother got fined for coming over the house during that time?
Well,
Action calls for speculation.
Overall, do you know or don't you? Yes or no?
yes, she did.
Was there a problem sometime with the
What
food
is with this
at the house
view?
where your mother was talked to about that?
Yes. At the beginning,
It's almost like she's a protected witness and he's doing like the neck down shot or just practicing it. But I'm sure she's been testifying for over an hour now. Weird.
the babysitter, my dad would give the babysitters money to go to the store and get food, and they would buy dinner food, steak and chicken and things like that. And so we always had a freezer full of food. But when we came home from school, there wouldn't be things for us to eat. So we had to talk to my dad about it, and then he finally did talk to Robin about it. And then she would go buy us chips and things that we could eat after school.
Was at a time
Or the cameraman thinks that one pearl earring has some sort of courtroom value to focus on. Seemed to be learned from the pearl earring.
before your father finally did it, was there some arguments between your mother?
Bit of a paisley scarf too. That's kind of a little splash of complementary color to her blazer.
And father about that?
Yes, there was.
And we're back.
You had the
Look at the computer. She's got a computer. Look at that laptop. That probably had like 64K of RAM. Wow. That's an artifact.
Was there a car that was available for your and Kim's use at your father's house?
Yes, we were to share the
I think that's like a 7-inch screen. That's state of the art. This courtroom is getting updated.
MG midget.
Okay. Now, when you say you were to share that, was that at a time before Kim went away to Arizona to college?
Yes.
And was there a problem with the MG?
Yes. if we didn't know what the problem was, it would just stall and wouldn't start again.
And
Finally,
what else did you?
we learn why the MG is like the MG. Any car would have been good. I had a Toyota Corolla, 1985 Toyota Corolla is my first car, well after 1985.
Did both of you talk to your mother about that?
Yes, we talked to our mother and our father about it.
And what was did your father buy a car at that time for anybody?
No, he thought that we were making it up to try and get a new car.
And
We talked to our mom about it, and she finally did buy me and my sister a car.
when you moved out of the rental house, when your mother took you over to your father's house, what was she like at that time?
She was upset. I didn't know if she was upset with me or upset. She was just very upset. She told me to pack my stuff and I was going to my dad's house.
Okay. Did you talk about whether the rent was up on the rental?
Yes, she said that they couldn't. The Blues were the family that were coming back to their house. They stay there in the summer, and they were planning on coming back.
The when your mother moved into the home at Cali de Cielo, did she have any furniture at that home?
When she first moved in there, no, she didn't have any furniture.
Was there any arguments that she had in terms of trying to get some furniture that your father had for the home?
Yes, I believe so.
What's the yellow wristband for? That's before Lance Armstrong. She didn't get to go clubbing last night, did she?
The
Not afraid of the camera.
whose furniture was in the home at? What furniture were you using in Coral Reef? When you first,
Well, when we first moved there, the furniture was left at the rental house. So we had no furniture at the Coral Reef house either.
It's a slightly different top. Same style for sure.
and did when the rental was up, did the furniture get moved over to Coral Reef?
Yes.
And showing you what has been marked as defense over identification. Have you seen these pictures before?
Yes, I have.
Did you, was your mother trying to get that furniture?
Yes, she would ask me if I would go ask my father for the 2 dark wood tables and the dresser.
And were you able to get him to agree to give her that furniture?
No, he said that he was using them for his files and she couldn't have them.
And
There was,
another bizarre line of questioning, like any of this, okay, you know what, he didn't give her the end tables, so I'm going to go with manslaughter. Like, it's such a weird thing to parse out, but
aware in 1989, after the divorce decree, of a problem involving the wedding china.
Yes, I was.
And were you,
I don't know how Betty is getting that hairdo in prison. Like, first off, it's much more contemporary, well, more retro. It's like a 50s hairdo. Like, she's rebelling against the current style, which good for her, because she had a perm as well that would be just absolutely ridiculous. There's enough perms in this courtroom. But yeah, that's like, more impressive than Lori Vallow's curls, and she's a hairdresser.
did you talk to your father and Linda about the wedding china?
Yes, my mom had asked me if I could ask my father to give her the wedding china.
Okay.
And I would ask him, and he would say no.
No.
And did you ask Linda about the wedding china?
Well, I kept bothering my dad about it, and he finally said yes, I could take the china if she would just shut up about it. And Linda told me that she had replaced a few chipped pieces in the set It had cost her a few $100s that she had put into the set to restore it, and she didn't want it in court, and she wasn't going to get it, and she was hiding it, and it wasn't in the house. So she came to look for it, not to look around because it wasn't there, and she'd never find it.
Did your mother ever go to the house to ask about it?
Yes, she did.
Okay, when she went, what was her demeanor?
She was very upset.
Candace has a question for chat. Is anyone familiar with Warren Jeffs and the FLDS? Which something of Latter-day Saints. Lee's hair is like the FLDS women, minus the braid. And I know Warren Jeffs is familiar to me because Bountiful, British Columbia, was the offshoot of their little commune. There was somebody, might have been Warren Jeffs, it was in BC too. But yeah, there's a whole Canadian. It's near the city of Creston, BC, which is in the southeast corner of the province. But yeah, lots of interesting stuff with them. They had a whole polygamy compound there.
She noticed that my dad and Linda had new wedding china, and she didn't realize why they were keeping hers from her.
Oh yeah, Lee's hair is totally like that, right?
Was there some time in just before, sometime just before your father died, that you were told to leave your father's house, you and him?
Yes, my dad told us, well, he told me and he told my sister the same night, but at separate times. We were called into his office and he told us that I would be 18 next month and I was going to be an adult. It was time to find a job and take public transportation and live on my own, and get an apartment and start my life as an adult. And he later told my sister the same thing.
Was she upset about that?
Yes, she was very upset.
Okay. And at a time, was there a time when Kim was off in college that you were living in your father's home?
Yes.
Okay. And where were you, at the time when she was off in college, where were you living in the home?
Well, when she was off in college, I would stay in her room. But the day she came back from college, I was kicked down to the poolside dressing room area.
Okay, and that's a little room that's next to a pool where where just people go in to change their clothes?
Yes.
Okay, did it have bathroom facilities?
It had a sink, a bar type sink and a mini refrigerator, but it didn't have a bathroom, no.
Okay, and if at night, if no one was home in the main house, could you get into it?
No.
And so,
I would knock, and if no one was there, I could always sneak around and break in through a window that I knew about. But if nobody was home, I couldn't get in without breaking in.
okay, did you ever use canyons for the bathroom?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now and would there be problems when when your father would have friends over and you were in the pool room?
Yes, he asked me if I could keep all my things in the little dressing room stall so that it wouldn't look like anyone was living there. Because all it was a couch and a wet bar, and he wanted to keep it as a pool room. He didn't want it to look like someone was living on the couch there. So every morning I would pick up my stuff and throw it in the little dressing room area.
When your mother would come over the house, would she sometimes bring the boys over to bring them back to the house and go into the house?
Yes, she would.
Okay. And was there, if the doors were locked, were there ways that people would get in the house through windows?
Yes, there's ways to break into my father's house.
Sometimes you could push the French doors and they would open?
Yes.
Okay. Would Linda ever call your mother names in front of you?
Be right back. Let me know
She
if I
wouldn't
need to
use
rewind
profanity,
anything
but she
super
would
good.
call her fat and stuff like that, crazy, things like that, but she wouldn't use bad language.
Do you remember testifying as to something about the crazy bitch? Do you remember that at all?
Vaguely. I don't remember her saying that exactly. She might have said something like that.
Would she say that about your mother in front of the boys?
Well, if we were sitting at the dinner table and Linda started to talk about my mom, my dad would tell her to stop because it made my brothers very upset. If Linda sat there and called her fat and crazy and things, my brothers would get upset. So my dad would ask Linda not to talk about my mom at the dinner table or in front of my brothers.
Okay. Did you ever hear your brothers asking your mother if she was crazy?
Yes.
Now, were you the machines, the
Sorry,
answering
scratch.
machine? There was an answering machine in the house at Cypress.
Yes.
Okay. And would you ever see Linda get involved in the answering machine and making tapes?
Yes, she would. If there was a message with obscene language from my mom, she would take the tape out of the machine and copy it on a different tape from my dad.
Okay. Was there ever a time where you would watch Linda listen to your mother call and then turn the ringers off and wait to see if she'd call back and left bad messages?
There was a time when the ringers were already off and the volume was low and the red light was on and you could tell that somebody was talking. So she turned up the volume and it was my mom talking and she told me, don't pick up the phone.
Now, what would her attitude be like when she got the tapes?
She'd be happy if she could get a tape with bad language. She would
So they wanted
be
the
doing
bad
my father a
language.
favor.
The
bad words
during the time that
were the feature, not the glitch.
was there ever a time when Linda was first in the house and your mother and father first split up? Was there times where she would wear what to the children or your mother wear inappropriate clothes around the house?
She would wear a nightgown around the house, yes.
Okay, now are we talking about, are we talking about the kind of nightgown where someone has got the woolly cotton one? What kind of nightgown are we talking about?
Well, she would wear kind of silky lace, not. She would wear
Lingerie.
things that we didn't think she should be walking around the house in.
Was there any conversations did you know whether your mother was talked to about that?
Yes. We did tell my mom that
Walking
she would
around
walk
in a
around the house
camisole.
in her nightgown.
Did
Oh,
Kim
nightgown's
complain
fine.
about that to your mother?
Yes.
The times that your mother would call up, was there any time of the year or anything that was going on that would make it difficult for her when she couldn't get a hold of the kids in the house?
I'm just seeing other calls for speculation.
It's the same.
Well, would there be times where you would notice, where it would be, you would notice from knowing your mother that there is something going on that would make it certain
A
times of the year, certain
negligee
days
is
of the year,
different
where
than a
it would be-
nightgown, yeah.
where it was obvious that she was more upset not being able to talk to them, to the children.
She'd be very upset if she couldn't talk to them on holidays and on their birthday and things like that. If she couldn't get in touch with them on holidays, she would try and call all day until she could get one of them on the phone.
Was there something that was going on at Christmas time and Thanksgiving as far as the ringers and birthdays?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes they were turned off and sometimes they were turned on. But if she couldn't get through on a special occasion, she would be very upset.
And who'd you usually spend Thanksgiving and Christmas with?
Our father.
Okay. And would you ask him about going over to visit your mother on Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Yes.
And what was his answer?
He Well, every year it was different. Some years one year he let us take a cab over after Thanksgiving dinner. Another year he said that we could spend Thanksgiving with my mom a week later. And sometimes he would let us go over later that night on Christmas. Sometimes we wouldn't be able to see her till the next weekend of the Christmas vacation. It all depended on what year and when.
If you weren't able to visit with her on like Christmas or Thanksgiving, did you have problems in did he say no the next weekend when you would have the Thanksgiving dinner with your mother or the weekend? In other words, were you able to have it but a week late?
Yes, we would have Thanksgiving dinner, but my mom would make it a week after the real Thanksgiving.
Okay. Now, as the time went on, 86, 87, 88, did you notice a change in your mother as far as whether she was happy, sadder,
Yes.
weight, anything?
I noticed a huge change in my mother when my parents got separated. She was always upset. She got fat. She used to be really thin before they were married. She started using.
Not she gained a few pounds. She got fat. Oh, Lee.
Foul language. She never did that before. A lot of real noticeable changes happened to my mom after my parents got separated.
And as the years went on, did your mother seem to get more depressed or crying, less?
Yeah, it just seemed like she was getting worse.
Okay. And the weight changed from year to year, seemed to get heavier?
Yeah, I was always worried that she was going to hurt herself or something.
Did she change the way she was, even her habits of how she would walk to the beach and the exercise she'd get?
Yes, she used to walk to the beach and walk along the shores. And then as she got fatter, she would drive to get coffee and then park right there in the parking lot and then walk along the beach. She used to just walk from the house.
Okay. Did you ever see her just sitting on benches?
Yes. Mm-hmm. She spent a lot of time at the beach in the morning, early morning. You were home at a time when your mother came over and drove her car into your father's front door, weren't you? Yes.
Okay. Now, when your mother first came over there, was your father home?
No.
And
Hey, Boom
what
Shicky.
did your mother tell you what she wanted at that time?
She said she wanted to talk to my dad, and she was going to wait there until he came home to talk to her.
Okay.
And Boom Shicky, Lee is the daughter that supported Mom's release for parole at both hearings. So she's, I guess, just a blunt speaker, but, she's not biased against her mom. But she did think she got fat. And that said, you can see, I'm going to start putting some pictures from early Betty, and you can definitely see that she has gained weight since her wedding.
Okay. Did your dad come home?
Yes, my sister called him.
Okay. And when your dad came home, what did your mother tell him?
She said, I want to talk to you about what went on with the house in court today.
Okay. And what did your father tell her?
Talk to your
Did he
lawyer.
talk to her about it, or what did he say?
He said, talk to your lawyer.
Did he eventually talk to her, or did he just tell her to listen?
He just told her to talk to her lawyer and to get off his property.
Okay. Now, did the
Thanks for saying hi.
your mother came back? You were there, is that correct? With the car when your mother hit
Yes,
the
she
car?
came back with the car, yes.
Okay, and so you were there when you heard the car hit the front door.
Yes.
What happened? Did your father?
And you weigh a little bit more now than you did then? You mean since I was incarcerated? No, that's not what I mean. Just mean I was trying to make the jury feel like you were small like him and it was equal. And never mind, Sarah, you blew it all. You blew it in one sentence.
Go out to the front where your mother was,
Yes.
and did you go out there?
Yes.
And what was was there an altercation between your mother and father?
Yes.
And what happened?
Came out and stood in the doorway and was waving for her not to. He said, I think, Jesus, Bets, what are you doing? And he stood there and kind of waved her, and she came crashing into the house, and he jumped out of the way. And then she got out of the car and came at both of us.
Okay. And was there a physical altercation between them?
Yes. She grabbed him and he grabbed her, and I was in the middle.
Okay. Did she ever hit him?
Yes.
Okay. And did he hit her?
Yes.
Okay. And how did she hit him?
She was hitting him with the keys in her hand. She had a key ring in her hand, and she was whacking him on the head around me. I was in the middle between them, and she was reaching around me and slapping him on the head with her key ring.
And and how did he hit her?
He finally pulled me out of the way and punched her right in the chest, and she fell down.
Okay. And at that time, did she have any weapons on her or in her vehicle?
I believe there was a knife found under the seat later on that day, but she didn't bring it out of the car.
Okay.
The police found it when they came.
Did you talk to the police about that at that time?
Yes.
And did you tell the police that your mother said she was going to kill herself with it?
I may have. I don't recall if that's what I told the police or not. I might have said that.
Did your mother say that?
I don't remember right now.
If you would have told it to the police, would that have been because your mother told you that?
Yes.
During 1989, was there a time when you were staying sometimes at your mother's house?
Yes.
Did you know someone by the name of Tom?
Yes, it was my sister's boyfriend.
Was there any?
Okay, I'm just going to give a quick pause here just to appreciate the mullet on the cameraman, which I don't think he can fully appreciate with me right in front of him. So we'll do that. Up a little bit too. Okay, we'll just transition. I'm away. Just check out this guy here. I'll move my box. Watch him as it progresses, and you can see it's like very business on top and party in the back. It's
calls coming to your mother's house from Tom late at night?
Objection, and this is calls for personal knowledge.
Staying, just rephrase it.
Do you know whether Tom was calling there late at night?
I would not be on the phone when he called, but yes, I knew that he was calling at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, waking people up.
Okay.
cameraman likes the court reporter.
Yes.
Objection, and it calls for reason.
Well, that actually can stand.
Okay, and what did Kim tell you?
Objection.
Sustain.
For impeachment.
That's not a Ken Burns pan and zoom. That's all the
Phone
cameraman.
calls at 3 or 4 in the morning, the nature of the conversation, and I'll see the relevance of that.
Was there any problems between Kim and her mother in regards to clothes?
Yes.
And what were those problems?
Objection, irrelevant.
Just put a time frame, Mr. Earl.
If you're going to go on
During
this camera view,
the
I'm going to
time
switch
between
it to
1985 and
a busier
1989, was there any problems between Kim and your mother with clothes where she went over to look for those, where she had to go over finally and look for them?
Kim would borrow clothes from my mother, and then she would not bring them back when my mom asked for them. So my mom she came to the house a few times looking for her stuff in Kim's room.
Were you aware of a trip that your mother was, had planned for Hawaii, where the children were gonna go?
Yes, I believe she was just gonna take my sister and I to Hawaii with her.
Was there at a last minute, was there a cancellation of that plan?
My dad wouldn't let us go.
And how did visiting work at the house? If you were gonna visit your mom, how would that, was there some kind of schedule? How would that be arranged?
If we wanted to visit at our mom's house, we would have to make plans in advance. So we would ask my dad at the beginning of the week if we could go over and spend time with my mom for the weekend.
When would you find out whether you would be able to?
Well, he told us that he couldn't make his decision without speaking to the psychiatrist first, our psychiatrist. So he would usually talk to whoever he needed to talk to and give us an answer on Friday.
Whoever answered that phone is quietly talking on it.
Did Linda have a knack for being able to imitate people?
Objection irrelevant.
Just saying.
Well, did she have the ability to, or did she do things that would be what she considered funny imitations?
That's true. That's a lot of wide shots now, isn't it?
Not that I recall.
Just scrub ahead. That's a great call, Victoria Moreland. Scrubbing ahead, and it looks like everything is being done from this over-the-shoulder angle now.
Were you present at your father's home around the time of the wedding when something happened with the wedding list?
And again, that's, with it being the first cameras, you wouldn't know to say, I don't want to be on camera. You'd get there and realize, hey, why the fuck am I on camera? Do I have to sign something? Or yeah. Great call, Victoria.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you wouldn't intentionally just shoot from the neck down like that. But yeah, it's a weird change to make after broadcasting her for the first 2 hours or hour and a half.
Did your mother come over to your father's house?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
I think you're 100% right there.
Nope.
Okay. Was she with any of the boys? You know.
I don't remember. I think so, but I can't be sure.
Okay. And was there a wedding list in the house?
Yes, it was by the front door because somebody was coming to pick it up to write the invitations in calligraphy. And there's a calligrapher coming to the door and we were supposed to hand her the vanilla envelope.
Okay. After your mother was there,
Not to make fun of her, but did she call the manila envelope a vanilla envelope? 355.33.
Vanilla envelope.
Okay. After your mother was there, did the wedding list disappear from the front door?
I didn't see her take it, but the vanilla envelope was gone.
No, she said it right.
From the front door.
Did your
Oh,
father
yeah.
dress well most of the time? Or?
Yes.
That's another great point. So Kelly asked, so let's say, the nightly news, highlights from the Betty Broderick trial. Oh yeah, my mom got fat. Got fat. Every news channel. And she returns for testimony the next day. Is like, no, I don't want to be on camera. Calling my, I was just giving testimony. Jesus Christ. Every channel in your mom's fat. I know. Killed my dad.
Overruled Anderson stand.
And normally, how would he be with the children? Was he someone who was a strict person, an affectionate person?
If it is a white manila envelope, you could call it a vanilla envelope, a vanilla manila, or a milli vanilli. Blame it on the...
He was pretty strict. We had a certain set of rules that we had to live by. If we weren't home for curfew, we get put on restriction.
Milli Vanilli. Excuse me, Your Honor, I'm just looking up.
Well,
Ms. Broderick, I wanted to ask you a few questions going back to the morning of November the 5th when your mother came over to your house after shooting your dad and Linda.
Somebody's doing chair
You
shifts.
indicated that she had asked you to get a key from the locked closet at her house in Calle de Cielo.
Yes.
Yeah, did she tell you exactly where that key was?
Yes, she said it was in a pewter cup on the mantle.
Was that did you know that that key was there before, or
No.
it was because she told you that's where?
Yes.
And did she tell you what it was that she wanted out of this locked closet?
She didn't. She just wanted the key. She didn't want anything from the closet. She just wanted the phone book and the key.
So she didn't want you to get the key and go into the closet and bring her something. She just wanted you to bring her the key.
Exactly.
And what was it that she kept in this locked closet?
She kept her valuables, her jewelry, some crystal vases, silver trays, bottles of wine.
Anything that was particularly valuable she kept in there?
I bet her bottles of wine were much more valuable than a bottle of Woodbridge.
She had a fire safe box that she kept all of her really important stuff in there. The jewelry in there. And
As a kid, I thought that the vineyards of Ernest and Julia Gallo were like the pinnacle of wine just because I saw commercials for it on TV saying it was, and didn't realize that box wine is probably the equivalent of Woodbridge.
papers, just stuff that she felt was really valuable was inside the room, inside the fire safe box.
Okay, so there was a fire safe box inside this also locked closet in the garage.
Right.
Okay. She also told you that she wanted you to get a phone book for her.
Yes.
Was this a particular phone book that she described?
I don't believe that she described it to me because I knew what it looked like already.
We're not talking about like the phone book that the county puts out.
She had a big burgundy.
Another throwback to when we used to get a phone book delivered to us by the phone company each year with everybody's phone numbers in it. They stopped doing that.
Phone book that had her initials on the front, and she would use that.
So it was her
phone.
personal phone?
Yes.
And you indicated that when you went over to her house that morning, you were stopped by police officers.
Yes.
And at that time, you lied to them. They asked you if you'd seen your mother,
Yes.
and you said no.
Yes.
Could you imagine if they did that today? Like just once a year, you get this huge book that's got everybody's names, addresses, and phone numbers, like in the whole province or, your whole metro area. A lot of information.
And that you wanted to protect your mother at the time.
Yes. Well, I was more worried about protecting myself. I didn't want to get in trouble because she was over at my apartment.
Later in the day, you gave a full statement to Detective Allen about what she knew about that day.
Yes.
And at that time, you also still lied about.
Yes, I lied about who we were with. I had told him that my mom's friends had come to my apartment,
Somebody just tried sending a fax, it sounded like.
honked, and she had come out to the car. That's a lie. That did not happen. We took her to pick up the friends and then to go to the police station. I didn't want to get the two people involved, so I just told the detective that I didn't know who they were.
And you didn't tell him where you had left your mother. You told him that
Yes.
the last time you had seen her again at your apartment.
I just said that some of her friends picked her up.
That's the court paging system. That's definitely the sound. They're either trying to get the evidence lady or somebody that needs to be here for the court.
They honked and she left, and I didn't see her.
Now, the list of things that you said she wrote out for you that morning.
Yes.
Where was it that she wrote that list?
She was writing that list in the car when we were in front of the police station.
And what was she writing the list on?
A picture that she had found on the floor of Jason's car.
And it was like a Xerox sheet of paper picture?
Yeah, it was a headshot of Jason for modeling, and it was just a big picture of his face on a piece of paper that size.
And you indicated she put several things down, the combination of her storage garage and the name of her accountant and several other things.
Yes.
Correct? And she gave you that list.
Yes.
What happened to the list? Do you know where it is?
Yes.
What happened to it?
She gave it to me. I had it at my house for a while, and the investigator asked if I could look around for it, and I couldn't find it, but I'm moving, and I found it just yesterday.
Do you have it?
I don't have it with me, but it is at my house, yes.
Okay.
Can I enter this as evidence, Your Honor?
Now, you also indicated that she wrote you a will, or what purported to be a will.
Yes.
Where was she when she did that?
I believe she was in the car, because Diane and Ronnie signed it. She wrote them at the same time.
And what did she write that on?
A piece of yellow notebook paper.
And do you know where the piece of notebook paper came from?
No.
What happened to that will? Do you know where that?
It's probably at my house somewhere. I wouldn't have thrown it away. It's probably in the piles of junk that I have at home.
And she also wrote you a check for $10,000 that day, right?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I have marked as People's Exhibit 55, I believe.
56.
56, thank you. A single sheet of Xerox paper purporting to show two sides of a check.
So marked.
Oh yeah, we're going to see a lot more of the prosecutor if they're not showing the daughter. See if I can pull up my Jane Fonda picture.
No, 55 was a cassette tape from this witness's answering machine the morning of the homicides. So this is 56.
9 to 5 was a great movie too. That was who was Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda.
If you could take a look at what's been marked as People's Exhibit 56. Do you recognize that check?
Yes, I do.
Is that the check that your mother wrote to you that morning?
Yes.
And she made it out to you, Kathy Lee Broderick?
Yes.
Now, it's dated November the 4th,
Mm-hmm.
which, and that morning was November the 5th.
Right.
Can you explain that if you can?
I think she just made a mistake on the date.
Where was it that she wrote the check?
She wrote this check. I didn't see her write it, but she gave it to me before we left my apartment.
Okay, so you were still at your apartment. You hadn't gotten in the car and driven
Right.
off anywhere.
Right.
And did you see where she
Lily
got the
Tomlin.
checkbook, or how she ended up doing it?
I just recall talking about how much she should write it for, but I don't actually remember her taking out her checkbook and writing it. I remember us discussing that she had just received her $16,000 check from my father, and she had paid some bills out of it, so we agreed on $10,000 amount to split between the four of us.
So she acknowledged to you that morning that she had just recently received her alimony check of $16,000.
Well, not that morning, but she said that she had $16,000 in her account, but she had paid some bills out of it, and she wanted to give me as much as she could.
Now, do you recall when you testified back at the preliminary hearing, which was a while ago, do you recall testifying that when your mother sent you to the condo, that she sent you over there specifically to get her diaries, her book, I believe another phone book, and some index cards?
Your Honor, I'm going to object that it's leading. This is redirect on this area, and it's improper impeachment.
Sustained.
Do you think it would refresh your recollection, take a look at your testimony at the preliminary hearing?
Yes.
If I could approach the witness, Your Honor, and I
Certainly.
counsel to page 116 of the preliminary hearing transcript.
Lines.
Lines 16 through 22.
Thank you.
So if you could go ahead and just read that to yourself. Does that help refresh your recollection about what it was that she wanted you to get at the condo?
A little bit. It wasn't another phone book. It was the phone book. We never found it at the house. At the first place we looked, we didn't find it. So it was the same phone book that we were looking for. And I don't remember if she had told me that she wanted those things, or if I had got the box and looked at them and then figured out what they were. I just remember her telling me she wanted the whole box underneath the desk in the garage where your feet would be if you pulled the chair in. That's what she told me. And once I got the box, I opened it and looked through it. So that's how I knew that there were books and diaries and index cards and things like that. So I looked through the box before the police told us to get in their car.
She's the one that specifically directed you to this box and where it
Yes.
was. And do you recall testifying before that when you went to the condo to get these things, that you didn't get into the condo, that the police stopped you before you got in?
Your Honor, objection is still improper impeachment.
Sustained. She's fully read that to herself, that's in there. See if it refreshes your recollection first.
Okay, I'm going to direct your attention to an interview that you gave to an investigator from the DA's office, pages 2 and 3. And if you would read,
Date of the interview and the name of the person writing the report.
the investigator is Bill Green, Your Honor, and the date is, I can find it, February 23rd, 1990.
Thank you.
Poor cameraman's
last paragraph
making
on
it
this
tough for me to
page
stay out of the way of people.
Through
Oh,
line
mullet
17
man's
on
setting
the
up for a
next
picture of Betty.
Okay.
Page 1.
Page 2 and 3.
Well, I say that she didn't give us a key, so we couldn't get in. We broke in. We climbed up on the roof
Cameraman almost looks a little like David Koresh.
and broke out the bedroom window of her condo to get into the.
Still cameraman, not the guy that we can't see, obviously.
Well,
Okay, so when you indicate that when you got to the condo, the police were there and took you with them.
right. That's not correct.
Okay.
We went with the police on our way out of the condo.
And what did you do with the box of stuff?
Left it in Jason's front seat of his car. And then later on, I gave it to Diane Black the next day.
Now, other than that list of things that she gave you that morning, from jail, she also wrote you several letters in the first couple of weeks after she got there.
Yes.
And also made some requests to have you do certain things. Is that
Yes.
correct? Your Honor, may I have
Tumble out of
Mark's
bed and
equals
stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition, yawn and stretch and try to come to life.
A 4-page document which purports to be a copy of a letter to Kathy Lee Broderick.
So marked.
Again, Ms. Broderick, if you could just take a
Your Honor,
look at
may I see that? I didn't bring all the letters that are,
All right.
Schnitzel and garlic rice is on the
Can you
menu.
just take a look at that and see if you recognize that as a letter that your mother
For Detective W.
sent to you from jail?
Today's a good day to have a good schnitzel.
Should I read this too?
Is that part of the letter that your mother sent to you from jail?
Yes, I believe it is.
And the letter is dated November the 16th, is that correct?
Yes.
And in this letter, she requests that you do several things. She entitles it Lee Loose Ends and gives you a list of things to do and puts a check mark on the other side where it says check here when done.
Yes.
It's a real
And
checklist.
some of those
Check here
things
when
were, for
done.
example, to remove certain things from the house and take them over to the condominium.
Yes.
And she wanted you to
Your Honor, I have an objection as to leading.
Sustained.
Did she ask you to meet with the decorator and do certain things with the decorator for the condominium? Would it help
She
refresh your
could've.
recollection to take a look at it?
Yes. Let me see here.
I say pal.
What is it that she wanted you to do as far as the condo was concerned and the decorator?
There was an oak floor that they were installing, and it hadn't been installed yet. She wanted me to meet them at the condo, make sure that they did their work.
And she gave you the name of the decorator and a number to reach out.
Yes.
Did she want you to get some hair coloring for her?
Yes.
She wants you to get a garage door opener and move an ironing board to the condo?
Yes.
Want you to hold the mail from both of the homes for her?
Yes.
Pay for the storage garage?
Yes.
She wrote you several other letters during that period of time. What's some things that she wanted you to do?
Yes. She was writing me letters with directions on where I should put all the things in her house and where she wanted me to put them in the condo.
Shortly after your father and Linda were killed, Kim and Danny and Rhett went to Colorado, is that correct?
Yes.
But you stayed here in San Diego.
Yes.
And with respect to your best recollection of what your mother told you about why she pulled the phone out of the wall, do you recall indicating that she told you she pulled the phone out of the wall because your dad was reaching for the phone?
Your Honor, objection is leading.
Sustained.
Would it help to see
Why did?
to see what you indicated to Detective Allen that day about what your mother said? Would that help to refresh your recollection?
Your Honor,
No.
Your Honor, I object as leading and suggestive.
Show her the report, see if it refreshes your recollection.
Well, Your Honor, she said she doesn't need something to refresh her recollection at that time, so why would you show her something?
Well, we wouldn't, but based on her answer, you started to object before she answered. So I was answering your objection. The answer stands.
And what was it that your mother said was the reason for why she pulled the phone out of the wall?
I don't remember her exact words, but it was something, she pulled it out of the wall so that he couldn't save himself or call for help, something like that. I don't remember her exact words. I don't remember if she told me she pulled the phone out or she yanked it out. I don't remember if her exact words were that so he couldn't call for help or so that he couldn't save himself. But it was something like that. All right.
Now, you also indicated that your mom said something that morning about that she wasn't sure whether or not she hit your dad when she shot him. Is that?
She said she wasn't sure if she had hit anyone because it was dark and the drapes were drawn. She couldn't see.
You guys are feeling fine and dandy like a white candy Christmas? That sounds delightful.
But she did acknowledge that he had said something to her about being shot.
Yes.
And did she also say anything else about, refer to something that your dad had previously said that had been in an article about this won't be over until one of us is gone?
When we were at my house on Sapphire talking about
Back scratcher.
why she wanted to kill herself, why she was so upset, she told me that she had felt empty inside and she was terribly upset about the Reader article where my dad was quoted in saying that.
Do you recall her saying that he said it won't be over until one of us is gone, so I guess one of us is gone now?
I have objection as leading.
Sustained.
Very leading, yeah.
Well, okay.
Well, I'll ask it a different way now that I've said that and reminded
You
her what I
recall
want.
talking about that again with Detective Allen?
Yes.
No, first of all, I'm going to object that it's leading. I didn't go into this area at all, and we didn't have an agreement as to who was going to cross and direct. Mr. Burkhoff did the direct in this area.
Oh,
You took her as your witness, so she can be on cross for that. But
cross.
it is outside the scope, so on that basis, it's sustained.
The incident where your dad, where your mother drove the car through the front door, you indicated that after she got out of the car, that she attacked her dad with a key ring, right?
Yes.
Do you?
not over yet,
Do you
motherfucker.
recall that you told Detective Allen that your mother attacked your dad with a knife?
I might have said that, but that didn't happen.
And again, just if you take a look to see if this refreshes your recollection, referring to Detective Allen's report, page 7,
Drive-in movies were great.
lines 26 through 28.
They were great as a kid. They were great as a teenager.
Right. I probably did say this to Detective Allen, but it's not the truth.
Okay.
Maybe a little dangerous
So
as a
you told
young
Detective
adult.
Allen that she tried to stab him with a knife that day.
Right, but she didn't.
It was-
I did tell Detective Allen that, but that didn't happen. She had a knife with her, but she never actually tried to stab him with it.
Do you recall
She
telling?
might have threatened, but she didn't actually have the knife in her hand.
Did she threaten to stab him with a knife?
Probably, yes.
And you saw the knife in the car yourself?
Yes.
Little recent drive-in memory for me, but the nice thing was during COVID, obviously tons of stuff was closed. So what a theater did was neighboring city, but they organized a drive-in screening of the Big Lebowski, and it was just at a part of the downtown where a building had been demolished. So there was parking for like 40 to 50 cars, and they projected it onto the side of the other building that was still there, and everybody pulled in their cars. Nobody, interacted with anyone. We all enjoyed a movie together, had our snacks pulled in, so there was no interactions beside, we pre-bought the tickets. And yeah, it was a pretty cool way to re-experience the Big Lebowski.
Do you recall where it was when you saw it?
I believe it was on the seat of the car.
And when you say on the seat of the car, the passenger side, driver's side?
Well, there's one long bench seat in the Suburban. It was on the seat next to her.
So if you're sitting in the driver's seat, it would be like on your right-hand side?
Yes.
And could you describe the knife?
It was I believe it had a black
Not on the
handle.
rug, man.
It was about this big.
Just for the record, Your Honor, the witness is indicating, and I'm not good on distances, 10 inches? Is that
Hold on, what
About
did I
10
miss
10
there?
inches to a foot?
What are the... Okay, I'm going to have to write this one down. We're going to do some sort of sassy little dandy short. Disgusting. I'm not real good. What was it? 10 inches, a foot? Then maybe pop up a picture of like Ron Jeremy or something like that. 4/18/39. Okay.
And had you seen that knife in her Suburban before?
Oh, it's discussing the knife. Yeah, that's perfect, Dan. Well done.
Did you know your mother to carry a knife in the car before? Did she ever talk about carrying the knife?
She carried a Swiss Army knife in her purse, but that was the only knife that I know that she carried around with her.
Now, there were some problems with, or there was a period of time when you didn't have keys to your dad's
Yes.
house, correct?
Correct.
There had been some problems with some keys that you had had where your mother had gotten a copy of the key.
Well, my dad would periodically change the locks, and he mysteriously, my mom would get in when the locks would be changed. So he assumed that it was my fault that my mom was getting access to the keys through me.
Hell yeah, asks if I'm familiar with the Boondock Saints. I'm somewhat familiar with them, and I do remember watching the Afroman trial thinking it looked totally like an episode of the Boondocks.
I don't know where they came from,
Right.
but the last time he got the locks changed, he didn't want any type of accident to happen where my mom would find the key or get access to the key. So he told me that since I was the one that spent most time with my mom, that I was not allowed to have a key to his house.
Okay. And it was, I mean, it wasn't necessarily that it was your fault. It was that you spent time with your mother. And so if there was an opportunity for her to get the keys, that was there, right?
Right.
But with respect to after the last lock change, and when the key to your dad's house was this big key, you never had this key, is that correct?
I believe I had it for
Oh,
a week or
Boondocks is
so,
separate.
And
Okay.
then my dad went on
Then
vacation.
I'm not familiar.
And he took my key from me and gave it to the babysitter. And then when I asked for it back, I was not allowed to have it back.
Which babysitter would that have been, Sylvia?
No, I believe it was Linda David that was staying with us that time.
The nose ring girl.
And with Sylvia Cabin, she was the most recent babysitter.
Yes.
She was the babysitter for a couple of years there
Yes.
before your father was killed. And would she have had the key to the house as well?
Yes.
When your mother took you over to your dad's house at Coral Reef at the very beginning there, that was a situation where you were pretty upset at the time, correct?
Yes, I was very upset. I was crying. I didn't want to go.
So it wasn't something where you had been pleading with her for the week before to let you go over there?
No, I was begging for her to let me stay.
And you indicated that when you got over there, when she dropped you off, Kim and Danny were already there.
Yes.
And when she left you, it was just the three of you then at home. Your dad wasn't at home at the time.
Right.
And there was a period of time for a couple of months there where you all slept on the floor in sleeping bags.
Yes.
Your mother was often critical about the place where your dad lived, wasn't she, about the house?
She was upset that the boys lived so far away from La Jolla and their friends and their activities and things.
Did she ever talk, though, in derogatory manner about your dad's house, that it was at the house in the slums?
Yes. She didn't like the area. The Hillcrest area has homosexuals, and she didn't like.
Where the gays were. Go back a little bit, and so she's racist and you're anti-gay. Anti-gay.
Yes. She didn't like the area. The Hillcrest area has homosexuals, and she didn't like the idea of us
I bet she hates prison.
playing and riding our bikes around. And there's also a busy street. University Avenue is right there, and she was complaining that it was a busy street and just a bad place to live.
And she would say that to you and to the boys, that she didn't want you living in Daytown, or she didn't want you living in the slums.
Right.
And you also acknowledge that, that Linda at the very beginning tried very hard to be nice with you and with the boys. And
Racist and
have a relationship
gayist.
with you.
She wanted very much to be accepted into our family. She tried to be as friendly as she could with us, giving us presents and things.
I don't know. Maybe we just couldn't afford an alarm. The alarm system I remember in the 90s that most people had was you could get stickers that said you had an alarm system and slap them on your windows. And for most people, it's just like, well, I'll go to the next house. This guy's got alarm by Arpel. But that's what our house had. We just had stickers that said we had an alarm system.
Your mom did tell you and tell the boys sometimes to get rid of Linda, to kick her out of the house, things like that.
Yes.
You know, it's funny how people are afraid of being around homosexuals, like it's catching. Like, is that really the fear, that it's going to be, you know, such an attractive lifestyle that you're not going to be able to continue to be straight just because, you know, look at how much fun they're having? It's a weird fear to have, I think.
And she also would constantly ask you and Kim and the boys about what was going on in the house, what your father and Linda were doing, what they were wearing, where they were going, things like that.
She would ask, but we would also volunteer information about what was going on in our life over there.
And do you recall telling Investigator Green that she questioned you constantly, question after question after question?
Yeah, she wanted to know what was going on, who was babysitting us, where they were going, who they were going with, when they were coming back, things like that.
The situation with your sister Kim in Arizona shortly before your dad and Linda were killed, had she talked to you about her discussions with her dad?
Kim had, yes.
Yes, Kim had.
Mhm.
And she had told you that it wasn't that your dad wasn't willing to pay for the apartment, it was simply he wanted her to keep looking to see if she could find a cheaper apartment.
She had told me that he thought that it was too much and that he wasn't going to pay that much. It was more than half of what she paid last semester in her other apartment. And my dad had told Kim that that was way too much and to keep looking.
And you indicated that Kim often would come over and talk to your mom about her problems, just problems in general. I mean, if
Yes.
she was having problems with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a
Yes.
teacher, and you would do the same thing.
Yes.
You said that your dad, when he would come home from work, he would often have either a gin and tonic or a glass of wine.
Mhm.
Did you think your dad was an alcoholic?
No.
When he'd come home, you indicated that he would, from Monday through Friday anyways, he would, as a matter of course, he would sit and have dinner with you all.
Yes.
That was a family thing to do.
Yes. We had to be home on time.
Okay. And
Hey, Billie
when
Jean.
he picked you up on that one occasion, you said that you felt that he had been drinking.
No, this is a good time for a
He allowed you
catch
to
up.
drive the car, is that correct?
So Billie Jean asks, are they not showing Lee? And yeah, we are. This is the split day of trial that this footage is showing. So they've changed outfits. The first half had Lee, and as Kelya pointed out, it's very likely the nightly news played the clip of her saying, well, then after they broke up, Mom got fat, like not got heavier, gained a few pounds, but when Mom got fat, she changed. Yeah. So I bet that was played all over the news. And the daughter said, you know, I don't want to be on camera. I didn't agree to that. Where are these cameras here anyway? And this being one of the first CourtTV cases, we're, 5 days into it, 6 days in by our clock, probably a few more if they've had to do like sidebars and that sort of thing. So it's picking up steam. People are watching it. They're realizing it's being watched, and that's probably why Lee is no longer being shown today. She may have withdrawn her permission or whatever. So the cool thing is we are getting better courtroom looks than we normally get, and we can enjoy all that. At this point, it looks like Lee is testifying for the rest of this stream. We've got about an hour left of raw testimony. Then tomorrow is a bit of a marathon. It's a 4.5-hour video. It's the end of the state's main case. So we'll get through whatever their final witnesses are. We'll see who the first witness is before we close this stream. And then we start with the defense's case. And we know Betty takes the stand. I don't know exactly where, but we have at least 7 days worth, maybe 9 days worth of 10 days worth of defense case. A couple more days of state's rebuttal. Closing arguments is a separate day. And the verdict and sentencing is the shortest of all days. It's only 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think I'll prepare some news archive footage and some compilations of stuff that we've encountered together, both pop culture-wise that has nothing to do with the case, just fun diversions we've had, as well as, case-related stuff for sure.
Well, what happened was him and Linda had been out to dinner in La Jolla, and I was at a friend's house in La Jolla. They were supposed to pick me up, and they were late. So I got a call from the car phone at my friend's house that said they were at dinner in La Jolla. They'd be there and to wait out front, and should be there in 5 minutes. I got in the car, and my dad asked me if I had been drinking. And I said, no, I hadn't been drinking. And he said, well, good, because Linda and I have been drinking at dinner, and I don't want to get in trouble for another DUI. Why don't you drive the car? So I drove home.
You had your learner's permit.
Yes, I did.
And that was something that you liked to do. You liked to drive the car.
It was the first time
Might
I'd
be
ever
able to
driven
help
his
you
Jaguar.
too.
That's why I remember it so well.
Not going to be an exact representation, but that's what Lee looks like. Sort of.
And you also talked a little bit about your dad, that he sometimes had kicked the dogs, right?
Yes.
And you've described that before as being no big deal, right?
Kick the
Right.
dog.
And you've described that defense counsel had tried to urge you into making it more of a big deal than it really was, right?
Correct. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Everybody knew he didn't like the dogs. So
You kick them if you
it
don't
wasn't
like
like
them.
he'd go out of his way to hurt them.
But if they got in the
And
way,
when the boys were
That's
living
crazy.
with your dad, they wanted to have dogs,
that's just
right?
wild.
Yes, my brothers loved their dogs, and they wanted, when my parents got separated, they wanted the dogs to be with them.
And your dad let them.
So on top of, he didn't like the dogs, he knows his kids love the dogs. And says, I told you, get this fucking dog out of my way. It's a Shih Tzu. It's like kicking a toddler like a baby. All right. Negative earned, Dan Broderick.
Have the dogs, right?
Not at first, no.
Okay, but there came a time when
There came a time when my mom had to leave town, and she didn't want to leave the two dogs alone.
Topsy
she came
and
over
Muffin.
and put them in the front door at the house. She opened the door and let the two dogs in.
Did the dogs stay there ever after that?
Yes, they did. For a little while.
A to B, you can't kick your neighbor, but I'll tell you a little story. This is relayed to me through my brother who knew it from a neighbor, so there's, you can't follow up on this. But I guess he had a neighbor he didn't like, so he pounded a piece of PVC piping, polyvinyl composite, that hard plastic piping, maybe 4-inch diameter. It's got a hole in it, so it goes into the dirt pretty good once you get it started. Hammering that in at a 45-degree angle until it's under his neighbor's property. And, mostly in the ground. There's about, it's up at about waist height is where the hole is. Then he took a bleach container, cut that out, turned it into a urinal against the fence. And whenever he'd have parties or, people outside, just go, pee in the urinal. And it would all drain into the center, about 4 feet down of the neighbor's lawn, which slowly died in a circle. And it's a slow burn story of revenge for you.
You indicated that your mother was unhappy with some of the babysitters, right?
Yes.
It's true that she was dissatisfied with all of the housekeepers.
He would kick them if they got on the hardwood floors because of the little claws. Yeah, another negative earned. Lucky, well, basically Elizabeth Broderick went John Wick on him. Nobody blamed John Wick. Consider that when you're answering the question of whether it's easier to have more sympathy for Betty. John Wick is not the villain in his story, and there's a lot of people who pay the price for his dog being offed. I guess it's a murdered dog, though. So
Not all of them. I mean, I do know a few housekeepers that she liked, but she had different reasons for not liking each one.
Robin Ta'ua, she ended up becoming a pretty good friend of the family, didn't she?
Yes,
She and her husband were invited to your dad's wedding.
yes.
And
We all went, whole family went to the wedding.
And she cared about you guys, didn't she?
Yes.
And the problem with the food, you indicated there was a problem with the food at the very beginning. When you say at the very beginning, you mean at the beginning of your parents' separation?
Well, yeah. But we had to make our own food when my parents first separated. And we were at my dad's house in Corey. We were fending for ourselves.
Right.
But once we got a babysitter, they would prepare us dinner.
But as far as the complaints about the food, you indicated it was complaints that there was basically no good junk food around, right?
welcome back,
Right,
Tam
just
Tam.
nothing to eat besides dinner food that the maids would prepare for the evening dinner.
Yeah,
That was
Tam
something
Tam, we
that
did
was-
just cover this with Billie Jean, but I'll catch you up quick. This day of testimony is split over 2 days of real life time. You can see the prosecutor is now wearing a nice khaki gray blazer. Betty, we haven't really seen the outfit there. David Koresh here is the cameraman in the corner. Oh, you probably can't see him because I have graphics. Wearing a nice plaid with a khaki vest. Anyway, we speculate that she requested not to be on camera because the first day of testimony, you might have been here with us, was when she called her mom fat, saying that she got fat after the breakup and she changed. It probably got replayed all over the news that night. CourtTV is probably picking up viewership, and they're all feeling a little bit more self-conscious about it. And then she probably just exercised her right. Like, I don't want to be on camera. Do I have to be? No, I guess not. So she's not on. But we know Betty. There's no way that Betty's not being filmed. So that to look forward to with state case.
Taken care of.
Right. Once we
Or
complained
defense.
enough, my dad talked to the babysitter, wrote out a list of what kind of junk food we wanted, fruit rolls, chips, pretzels, things like that. He wrote it down, gave it to Robin, and then she started to buy those things for us.
And that was way back in 1986 when
Right.
Robin was working for you.
Yeah, never feel shy about asking for an update coming in, even if I've given one before. Should be a drop in, drop out, have fun community event for the next 21 days. There's, if you want to watch all of it with me, hats off to you. I salute you for being as crazy as I am, but I don't expect it. So, by all means, come in, ask what's going on. If I see it, I'll do a wrap up because it's good for the people on the replay crew too. I put in timestamps after the fact, so anyone who's watching this on replay can skip to what looks like it's a good part based on the chapter headings. Eventually, enough people watch it, you'll get those little bumps in the scroll bar that show you the parts people are watching more. So, this is all for you. So if you want an update, you will get an update. Yeah, John Wick gave them every chance not to. And, to some degree, it sounds like, Betty didn't give him any chances. Betty kept looking for more. But she kept getting screwed too, so it's like, how do you fault her for wanting more? Getting swearing deductions. Swearing deductions, that's wild.
You remember that when you testified last Thursday, that you had indicated that, as far as your recollection of your parents' marriage, that you thought they were pretty happy?
I thought they were happy up until the time my mom burned his clothes. That's the first.
That would be a prime indicator that there's something off. I remember the day that our mom brought all his clothes to the backyard, threw gasoline on them, and torched them. Something's up.
That's the first time I realized that something was wrong.
Do you recall telling a judge at the divorce trial that you recalled your parents fighting a lot?
No.
I think just using something called Epstein
If I could
credits
show, Your Honor,
should count
the
against you.
transcript from the
Even though
divorce
it's
trial page.
so many years prior, Epstein was
590.
probably
This is-
12 years old.
Is this the time that my brothers and I went to talk to the judge in the chambers?
Actually, no, he's
And directing your
Probably old enough to be
attention
causing
to
shit back then.
590 lines,
would have been his school teaching days.
Right. Well, I say here that when I was really little, they didn't fight at all. But then they started to fight really bad, like all the time. Right. When I was really young, up until I was in the 7th grade, is when I noticed my parents starting to fight more and more.
And you're
Yeah, so the alimony settlement, and it was somebody else in chat that brought it up, so full credit to the, and I think it was a moderator, so even better. Thank you, mods. It calculated out to about $50,000 a month in alimony in today's money. Because most of us, like, I know 16 grand a month, I could live very comfortably on it. I live within my means. And yeah, I would probably just start, having a lot of extra, vacation type money and stuff like that, if that was what I was earning, yeah, or taking, just getting. But still, the point I think I made on that was, let's say you invested in Apple back then, and, you gave Steve Jobs $20,000 when he had, $5,000, and said, I know you're a genius, build your company, I trust you, just, I want to have a stake in what you get. And then as soon as he's about to sign his deal, he says, you know what, I bought out your share of the company, here's, 35 grand, you doubled your money, almost, and, I'm moving on. And then he moves on to, $10 billion company with millions of yearly earnings. And, people could say, well, you're doing pretty good, you're still getting 50 grand a month. But you wouldn't feel happy with that if you'd invested 20 grand in Apple at the beginning. That's what to balance. It is plenty of money, and certainly anyone with a healthy mindset that, could just go, hey, I can live a very comfortable, happy life on this. The testament to not needing money to make you happy. But when you get all wrapped up in entitlement and thinking about things that really shouldn't matter to your happiness, that's when you get driven crazy like Betty did, where, she may have been entitled to a share, but why ruin your entire life, your kid's life, over, someone who's obviously wrong, like an asshole? You don't want him in your life anyway, so.
The judge basically just asked you if you thought your father was the one who was entirely responsible.
Right.
And you had indicated no, that if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and that your parents fought a lot.
Right.
And yeah, the settlement, from what I understand, I thought it was $33,000 that she got, but that was for half of the assets. So after Dan hid hid a chunk of the assets by putting them in the brother's name, as Victoria Carmen's mentioning, or used the Epstein credits, which is just by paying off the loans they incurred together after they were separated, it put her technically on the hook for everything that he paid after the fact, because it was paying off a shared debt. So despite the fact that gets 100% of the benefit from what that debt was shared over, it all came out of her half of his half, or his total assets. So she kind of got screwed over in the divorce as much as Sarah got rightfully screwed in her final divorce settlement. Paint box is here. Paintbox told a friend from San Diego, "I'm watching an old murder trial from the area." And as soon as I mentioned the defendant was a woman, she said, "Betty?" Betty, if you call me, you can call me Al. It is Betty.
Your Honor, perhaps this would be a good time for the break. I need a few minutes to collect my thoughts here before I finish up.
All right, what's 2 minutes to 12? That's close enough. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take our noon recess at this time. Please remember the admonition not to discuss the case among yourselves, nor allow anyone else to discuss it with you, nor form any opinions on it until it's finally submitted to you. See you at 1:30, and hopefully we will start at 1:30 sharp.
Okay.
Matter of the people of the state of California versus Elizabeth Ann Broderick. The record should reflect that no.
The clock on the wall said 1:25 or 1:35. No, 1:25. Yeah, they're ahead of time.
Members of the jury panel are present. We're on the record at the request of the electronic media with regard to 2 separate orders.
Electronic media. That existed, eh?
One being sought by the district attorney as to the testimony of a witness who has not as yet testified. The offer of proof as to that witness was that she was a jail inmate with the defendant at one point in time, and that she talked to a counseling attorney, Glorine Franco, who was ordered up here by the court last Thursday to talk to her. But that witness requested that the court limit the film and electronic media coverage of her testimony, basically for 2 reasons. She didn't want to be labeled as a snitch, and that she has been in jail several times and anticipates, apparently realistically, that she may be going back into custody.
Snitches get stitches.
And also because the area town that she lives in, there was no objection to Mr. Early for that order. The second issue before us is with regard to the continued testimony of Ms. Lee Broderick. This morning, Mr. Early requested on behalf of Ms. Lee Broderick that her testimony no longer be covered by the electronic media.
Here we go.
Or film. There was no objection to that by the people. I believe that accurately sets the background. Is that correct, Ms. Wells and Mr. Early?
Yes, sir.
And now, counsel, if you'd state your appearance and go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for taking me out of order. My name is Edward McIntyre with the Great Harry Ames and Fry Law Firm. I represent in this proceeding all 3 of the television stations, KNSD.
Okay. So this is an impromptu, like, kind of butting in, but the lawyer for the media that's covering it. First one he mentioned is the local San Diego television station.
TV, KFMB.
Okay,
Right,
so
go ahead, sir.
First of all, Your Honor, just a quick procedural point. There is presently on hold on the telephone an attorney by the name of William Brockett. He tells me, I've spoken with him briefly, he tells me that he represents CourtTV. We have talked for 2 or 3 minutes. He asked me to ask the court's permission. He is from San Francisco, that's why he's not here in the urgency of this. And he asked me to ask the court whether he could participate by telephone. I told him I would put his request.
I have no objection, assuming he'd be able to hear what's going on. I can't vouch for that. Either the parties have an objection to that?
No, Your Honor.
Fine, if he can hear what's going on, put him on.
how's this going to work?
We don't have a speakerphone in here is the problem. No. The problem would be that I don't think we can.
Just hold the phone up.
There's no way to make it available so he can hear what's going on. We'd be able to hear him, but I don't think he can hear us.
I explained that to him. I believe the court did not have speakerphone capability. I explained that to Mr. Brockett when we started.
We don't. So you can let him know that, yes, sir.
I would be here representing CourtTV. If he is not able to communicate, I can either communicate with him by phone.
That's
Or if you're on the
I'll state your
I'll
name
be the
for record.
Steve
interpreter.
Johnson with Courtroom Television Network.
Thank you. You want to take the phone by my bailiff?
The Courtroom Television Network, also known as CourtTV. You never hear them called the Courtroom Television Network. This is going to be interesting. I might want to cut this, just be a whole separate video, because this is going to be one of the first real media. You remember how easy it was for the media in Sarah's trial? Like, Sarah tried objecting to it, and they're like, no, you have to prove that the case shouldn't be covered. We don't need to prove any urgency or any reason to cover it. We're covering it because we're allowed to. And yeah, so ruled. This is okay. Where's this going to go? Well, we know they're going to continue filming it for sure, but it's interesting.
Bailiff's table there and talk to him, tell him what's happened. I have no objection. We just don't have the capability.
Oh, awesome. Ocean Sounds is here. Just got the update too.
You can speak, but you cannot hear what's being said. So
now we have the good lawyer calling in from San Francisco. Let me make sure that I've got a screen where you can see everyone. No, you can't. Okay, that's no good. Let's go to that screen. So over here is the lawyer from the lawyer on the phone to the lawyer from San Francisco, who's going to try and argue Courtroom TV's right to whatever the fuck they want to do. And it must be, that people can't just say, no, don't film me. So they allowed, that's why the last hour, Lee Broderick wasn't filmed. But I think that's because they didn't have someone there to immediately say, no, there's no right to it. Okay, interesting.
Right.
Case within a case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, let me address the orders that, as I understand, have been entered from what Your Honor's preamble. Let me address the Lee Broderick order first, and then I'll move on to the Maria Peralta order.
All right.
I am assuming, Your Honor, that those orders do not preclude any coverage such as the media may care to give to this
1991.
Is that correct?
No, that's correct.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, 1991. But as I've been saying, this is one of the first Court TV trials, and definitely the first to get major attention. Like, maybe they did ones that no one cared about, and they're practicing, how the technicals of just getting the film set up. But then this was clearly a big case. They'd already had the hung jury case, so they kind of knew where the testimony was going, and we're like, yes, we'll devote the resources to this. And then it was Broderick, Menendez, O.J. Simpson. And next thing you know, Court TV is like a staple. And here we are today.
As I'm sure the court knows, there has already been a decision of the 4th District Court of Appeal arising on the Broderick prosecution. It's KFMB.
So this is Court TV, Billie Jean. If you look in the bottom corner, I hope I don't have it covered up. I do have it covered up. Let me just change my framing here. Graphic up a little bit. Yeah. Court TV, also known as Courtroom Television.
TV Channel 8 versus the Municipal Court. It arose out of the preliminary hearing in this case, where there was again restriction imposed by the court with respect to filming. Not precisely the same restriction that Your Honor has imposed.
I think the restriction there had to do with the judge was allowing electronic media to record it, but then wanted to edit what could be shown after he had allowed it to be recorded, if I'm not mistaken.
Precisely right.
All right.
That's exactly the case.
Go ahead.
In reaching the decision that it reached there, what the 4th District Court of Appeal said was, nonetheless, we cannot ignore the important role the electronic media play in disseminating public.
But we're learning along. Like, I'm glad you're here for this part, Billie Jean, because it's hard to believe that this is Court TV, like same Court TV that exists now. But this is what they built their brand on. Like, this is one of the cases that made them relevant and, gave them probably the contracts and like the investment to cover the Menendez trial, which, was really well covered. This is such a tight, cramped courtroom, first time, everything. But this lays the groundwork for how true crime exists for us today. If these failed, who knows? Maybe, it takes another 20 years before somebody tries televising court again, just because, nobody wants to, we put tons of money into that. It was a waste. But no, people like to watch it.
Information. Rule 980, which is the one that governs, as we all know, the electronic media in the courtroom, recognizes that media access should be granted, except where to do so will interfere, 1, with the rights of the parties, 2, diminish the dignity of the court, or 3, impede the orderly conduct of the proceedings. Then the court went on to discuss whether it was going to mandate, as I was urging it to do, findings from the trial court, and then went on and said that while we won't mandate it, we therefore urge the trial court to briefly explain on the record why access is being denied when it is being denied. Let me start from that, Your Honor, because it is arguably the law of the case in this case, and it's also one of the 2 pronouncements on Rule 980, this one from the District Court of Appeal. As I understand...
And this is also interesting. He's not arguing against anyone. It's just him arguing for their rights within this case. So it's 100% him and the judge.
The state of affairs at the moment, Your Honor, Ms. Broderick has been seen both in the print media and on television so far in this proceeding and in the proceeding that preceded this one.
The proceeding.
2, state the obvious, Ms. Broderick is not a party in this proceeding. Most importantly, as every court who has dealt with the rights of the media have said, the rights of the media are no greater than at public trials, are no greater than the rights of the general public. I submit, however, Your Honor, they're no less. Now, anyone can wander in off the street, and so long as there is a seat there, that person can sit down, watch Ms. Broderick testify, listen to Ms. Broderick testify, form such impression as he or she wants, walk out of this courtroom. Problem is, Your Honor, and I come back exactly to the point that the 4th District Court of Appeal put its finger on, the important role the electronic media play in disseminating public information. This courtroom has as few seats or as many seats as it has. The interest in this case, nay, the interest in any criminal proceeding, goes far beyond the number of available seats in the courtroom at any point in time. First point I want to make, Your Honor, is if the general public can wander in and watch the witness testify, then the public that cannot be here and is dependent on the electronic media and on the print media with their still cameras to record what goes on in these proceedings and to broadcast or disseminate it, that public is deprived of the opportunity to see this witness testify.
So there you go. The public has a right. This is a public trial. The public can walk in and sit down and sit in those seats. But as we can see how crowded this courtroom is, there's not unlimited seating there. There's no way, and maybe there is plenty of room for who wanted to watch court back then. But if the courtroom is full, the camera is the way that people are allowed to be in the courtroom and, see what's happening and see how the system works, that the system is working, that it's not corrupt, that you don't have judges giving everything away in the side bars.
Witness who is not a party in the case. And as I understand it, Your Honor, a witness who's already been seen. So this is not a witness who can say, gee, now I can't be seen. Arguably the distinction between...
Oh, let's talk about law and crime. Reminds me of Morgan and Morgan.
Ms. Broderick and Ms. Peralta. There is no influence on the jury because the jury will see the witness testify, has already seen the witness testify. And there is, to the extent that I have heard it so far articulated, no rationale for precluding the filming of the face of Ms. Broderick testifying, that it all comports with the 4th District Court of Appeal, interpretation of Rule 980, affecting the rights of the parties, certainly not diminishing the dignity of this court, or impeding the orderly conduct of the proceedings. Your Honor has permitted timely application by everybody who has made application, the right to film these proceedings. In fact, as I understand it, Your Honor, CourtTV is filming them and broadcasting them live, gavel to gavel. Submit briefly, Your Honor, and I don't want to get into and argue to the court the Globe Enterprise and Press Enterprise and all the
the stirring Supreme Court decisions that have been.
So they were broadcasting this live, if not to, YouTube doesn't exist until what, 2007, but they could have been broadcasting to their webpage, and, people could have been, taking that choppy video and watching it, or news stations could have downloaded it after it, got to its full fidelity.
Across public. Your Honor is aware of those. They were argued to the 4th District Court of Appeal. They're well embodied in that decision. I'd rather address such questions as the court has on why I believe that at least the court's restriction with respect to Ms. Broderick ought to be overturned, and that she should be filmed as with any other witness similarly situated.
Do you want to be heard as to Ms. Peralta?
I do, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. Why don't you address that at this point?
I'd be pleased to, Your Honor. As I understand the rationale for Ms. Peralta.
Okay, so first, that's, I think, a solid argument. I think if Lee testifies anymore now after the break, she'll probably have to be on camera. And now, what do you think? Does the jail snitch? Does she get to be anonymous? And that's, I think he's going to make an equal case for her.
Ms. Peralta has articulated reasons that she has some future fear of being identified and being associated either with snitch testimony, to coin a phrase, testifying against somebody coming out of custody, and also in her neighborhood. Again, Your Honor, while as I understand it, Ms. Peralta has not been shown on television, nor has her picture, at least advertently, appeared in the print media. I believe that Ms. Peralta's situation is similar. Anyone who comes into these proceedings, and her name is known, and her name will be broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is now known because it's been spread on the record. Anyone who comes into these proceedings will see Ms. Peralta. We'll see her sit on the witness stand. We'll see and hear her testify. I believe that those in our community who have an equal interest in this case and are relying on TV or the print media to disseminate the news about this case are entitled to that same access, Your Honor. It is the fundamental right to access to argument.
Okay, well, just, you probably weren't aware of this, but she did not object, and I did not order that her name would not be used or that her testimony was not going to be otherwise recorded by members of the media who were going to be allowed here for her testimony. It was strictly, she was objecting to any film or electronic media coverage. But I don't think that changes anything you said. I just thought the record should be clear that she did not object to her name, the public knowing her name, or the public knowing the content of her testimony.
In fact, that enhances his argument because he's saying exactly. So if she's already identified as who she is, us broadcasting her isn't going to make her any more in danger than the people who are in prison that would go, hey, Miss Palenta, who was in jail with Betty, was the snitch at her trial. So I think this just enhances the lawyer's argument. Let's see if he says the same thing.
So that I understand, Your Honor, as I understand the order as it affects Ms. Broderick, the order is you can record these proceedings, news media, you simply cannot show her face.
That's right. That's
Actually
right.
testifies as to Ms. Broderick.
Right.
The court's order as to Ms. Peralta is the same or it's
Same.
different?
It is the same. Yes.
So we can have an audio recording of
Yes.
her testimony?
Yes. And print and electronic media reporters are allowed in the courtroom. There was never any order to exclude.
I understand that, Your Honor.
All right. What do you want to start? Ms. Wells, do you want to be heard first?
I'll defer to Mr. Early.
Mr. Early, you want to be heard?
Your Honor, I was the one that made the request as to
Never
Ms.
mind.
Broderick.
Yes.
I didn't
My
think
understanding is
they had a stake in it. Let's see.
that she felt uncomfortable testifying about what for her are very sensitive matters that affect her life directly with her family.
So he just asked on
Whether she
compassionate
has her
grounds.
face. And while I can appreciate the fact that it's maybe that there's people that can come in the courtroom, I don't think that anyone can say that when you have a camera staring you in the face, knowing it's being broadcast live, it may have an effect upon that person. This is a trial. These jurors are supposed to be able to hear the testimony of witnesses. If we have witnesses that now feel they're being affected by the camera, then I think that that's an improper focus to be here. And so that's why if the witness makes the request, I can understand the witness making the request that it affects it. If it affects their testimony while they're here, then I think that that's something that the court not only should, but has to take into consideration. When the main thing is for these 12 people to judge their credibility, not the news media out there or the people sitting in their living rooms to judge credibility. While it might be nice for them to see a trial, if people ask it, it's the reason I didn't object to Ms. Peralta on there, is if it's going to, they can ask about it, the district attorney, I'm assuming I can, as to why it affects them, if it's relevant. But if a witness feels affected by the cameras in the courtroom, I think that that's something that at least the witnesses have a right to bring that up. And I also said to the court, I just wanted to make a record. I understand the court says they don't see it as a problem. The firm of Greg Carey represents other Broderick children. Broderick, at least when I got a subpoena on them, one of the requirements was that I do what I can to reduce their exposure to the public. That same firm is in here now saying that in any case, there's no right to do that whatsoever. Obviously, there's some problems on what we're looking at as far as protection of witnesses and not from the same firm, one representing the news media and at the same time representing witnesses in the case, taking different positions on that, which is in direct conflict of why they're doing it at that time.
Well done, Victoria.
But as far as the only thing I can say is that I think the only objection or the only comment we have is if it appears to affect their testimony or how they testify before the jury, then I think that's an improper part to be in the courtroom. That's improper to be before the jury because they're the ones that are important.
Ms. Wells, anything you wanted to add?
Only to say, Your Honor, that this is one issue and probably the only issue upon which Mr. Early and I will agree. I just agree with what he said, and I've already given my reasons to the court of why I think it's appropriate with respect to Ms. Peralta. And I obviously don't have any objection with the same ruling with respect to Lee.
Interesting. They're totally aligned. Wow. Good for her for just saying, like, hey, it's 100% how I feel. And I can imagine a lot of lawyers. I mentioned the quantum, I don't know if it's quantum physics or quantum mechanics, but there's a theory that basically the mere observation of anything affects what you're observing, whether you're observing patterns of light, whatever your method of observation is, has the potential to impact the observation. So, that's kind of on a, esoteric level, but on a very basic level, you can think about the camera being in the courtroom and how your behavior might be different if you were in a courtroom with 15, 16 people, as opposed to 15, 16 people and a camera that's staring right at you when you've seen people on TV, on camera that look like a deer in the headlights. And now you're like, oh shit, I look like a deer in the headlights. Should I blink? But yeah, this is, I really like the media lawyer. He's making good arguments, and he's having, these are new arguments. These haven't been court tested. So this is a pretty cool moment.
I think that it's within the court's discretion, and that's it.
Well, just for the record, Mr. McIntyre, does your firm, to the best of your knowledge, represent Lee Broderick in any other matter?
Ms. Lee Broderick?
Yes.
To the best of my knowledge, Your Honor, no.
All right. I just wanted that on the record.
Okay, thank you.
The ruling that Mr. McIntyre referred to earlier in this case, it's my understanding of that ruling that the appellate court did not hold that the trial court or the lower court couldn't limit electronic media, provided it did so within the framework of Rule of Court 980. What they held was that once the court has authorized electronic media to record something, the court could not then edit what would be shown to the public. And at that time, what they were talking about, of course, was taped testimony that would be edited and news blurbs, for lack of a better term, being showed on a newscast. And as Mr. McIntyre correctly pointed out, what has happened in this case is
Courtroom TV is broadcasting, as I understand it, the bulk of it live. I'm not sure they broadcast every witness live, but this is a little different from the standpoint that there's live testimony. So I think what it boils down to is whether or not I have the authority under Rule 980 to limit in some fashion the electronic media and film media from taking pictures, whether it be electronic pictures or film pictures, of a particular witness once I have authorized them to proceed in recording the trial, which I see to be a little different issue than the one that was raised before. I am aware of the court's ruling in that case. I am also aware of another provision in 980 that wasn't mentioned apparently. I'm not saying you didn't accurately quote from the court's rulings. I think you did. I'm sure you did, Mr. McIntyre. But there's another provision in 980 that I think it's the fundamental provision that gives the court authority to limit electronic media and film coverage, and that has to do with the interest of justice. If the court finds the interest of justice are best served by limiting that coverage, then I think the court retains the inherent power to limit it, not to terminate it, but to limit it. Starting with the case of Ms. Peralta, I'm satisfied by the showing that was made to me that the interests of justice are best served by her not being filmed, in view of the fact that she had talked to a counseling attorney at her request, and in view of the fact that she was a jail inmate. And while I don't know the nature of her testimony, it's my understanding that it comes from a conversation she had with the defendant while she was in jail. The area of town she lives in, I guess, can best be described as not the best area. There are people there that may seek to do harm to somebody they thought was a snitch. And after talking with an attorney, she felt that she may be in some danger by testifying if she was going to be recorded live. It was explained to her, and she agreed that she had no problem with her name being used, with it being otherwise recorded. And as Mr. Early said, he was going to be allowed and will be allowed to cross-examine her on the fact that she's not being filmed at her request. But as to her, I think that my previous order is justified under the interests of justice, and so that particular order will stand. As to Ms. Lee Broderick, the problem I have with that order, I understand that both parties have agreed that she does not have to be her further testimony would not have to be electronically recorded. I am concerned with Mr. McIntyre's point that her testimony last week, which was for a substantial part of a day, as I recall, was in fact recorded by the film and electronic media, and there is substantial live footage, as far as I know, that was broadcast of her testimony.
Cat's out of the bag.
At that time, at least nobody brought it to my attention that she thought the camera was affecting her testimony. And I did not notice any reluctance on her part in answering questions that would indicate to me, independently of being told, that it was affecting her testimony. I first learned of this request earlier this morning when they indicated that she felt it was affecting her testimony. And I think the only way I can resolve this particular issue at this point, in fairness to all parties, is if counsel would allow me to ask Ms. Broderick a few questions with regard to that, or if counsel wants to address the questions themselves. Because if I'm going to restrict it, I need something on the record to justify what I do. Otherwise, I'm not going to restrict it.
Ah.
I think it's appropriate that the court be the one who asks the questions.
Do you have any objection to that, Ms. Wells? No. Mr. McIntyre?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay.
Is she in the hallway or otherwise available?
I'll get her.
Wow. They're really going through all the steps here. This is...
I haven't get down that far.
Question, Billie Jean.
Right. Okay.
I think so. The guy on the phone is the lawyer talking to the other lawyer, so probably telling him what just happened. Maybe there's going to be a last minute argument that's like, no, you got to cite Mitchell and Mitchelson. That or something like that is going on. The guy that's sitting in front of him just put something on the ledge in front of him. I think that's one of those little personal tape recorders with the mini cassettes. A lot of reporters, I had one of those when I was in journalism school. It's pretty good. Like it doesn't look like much, but it's pretty good for picking up room audio, especially if it's sitting out in the open with its mic, able to get a 360, or at least directional at where you're wanting the audio from. And then this looks like a print reporter. She's got all kinds of notes. That's the yellow legal pad, and yeah, it's all media in the front row covering, can media cover the trial?
Okay.
Well, that's just it, Billie Jean. This is exactly why this is like almost precedent-setting arguments.
Hi, Ms. Broderick. Would you maybe just...
I love how they film her coming in to argue whether she can be filmed or not. That's awesome. I'm just going to pull up a little bit of news, and I'll read the rest of this at the end. But I looked up about CourtTV, and while the most significant nationally televised murder trial was that of serial killer Ted Bundy in 1979, CourtTV launched in 1991. Early notable televised cases include Pamela Smart. 1991, Pamela Smart. 1995 was O.J. Simpson. So, okay, now I'll just have to look up the date of the and this was late 1991, so that makes sense. If it was also in 1991, it probably wasn't after this. They were only covering one case at a time at that time.
Take a seat up here. We're having a hearing with...
That's awesome that the cameraman is like, yeah, well, fuck this. Until they rule, I'm going to start filming. That's my job.
In regard to your request not to be photographed further during your testimony, okay?
Okay.
That's the subject matter we're talking about.
Okay.
I think you realized that you, when you testified last week, that you were being photographed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel that the fact you were being photographed at the time or electronically recorded at the time that you were testifying affected your testimony?
Yes, I was very nervous. Every time I would see the camera, I'd get scared.
Zoom in.
All right. Do you believe that it affected you to the standpoint that it caused you to change any testimony or anything to that
No.
standpoint? Just made
No.
you nervous?
It just makes me more nervous knowing that it's right there.
Okay. Are you aware that
You have no right not to be nervous?
if the camera isn't on you, are you aware that the public and the press are allowed in the courtroom and that they can record other than by electronic media, by film footage? They can record and probably are recording what you say.
Yes.
Does that bother you?
No, I just don't like the fact of being on live TV.
Well, how do you think my court reporter feels about having her ear zoomed in on because you've got a problem with your face?
That scares me.
Okay. What if it wasn't broadcast live? What if they taped it and edited it and showed parts later? Would that affect you the same or not?
Yes.
Think it would?
Yes.
Well, tell me in your own words how you think that the camera pointing at you would affect your ability to testify further.
Hey, Bethel
Well,
Salesman got good news in the
It
chit
just
chat.
makes me nervous again. I forget the question that was asked of me when I look over there because I think about the TV. For my attention to be completely focused on the questions, it'd be easier for me if the camera wasn't there.
This is coming off a lot like I just don't want it to be on. So considering that he gave deference to the prisoner who, that's a realistic, like as a judge, he knows that he's probably seen cases before him of inmates who've attacked other inmates or, but yeah, knows that that's not an unreasonable request as opposed to her. It just makes me nervous. Did you answer the questions truthfully? Oh yeah. Do you mind them being recorded? No. So it's just the video. Yeah, I don't like TV. TFB.
You're aware of the fact when the camera is and is not pointing at you or aimed at you? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
What if they had the capability, and I don't know if they have this capability, but what if they had the capability of pointing the camera over at the adjoining wall in some fashion and just using a wide angle lens so it wasn't pointing at you? Would that solve the problem? Such as if they pointed, like now it appears to be pointed to me, to the best of my knowledge.
That would be a little bit better.
That would be okay, do you think?
I
As long as they don't focus in on you with close-up?
Right. I just don't like it right.
That's when you pan
Pointing
back
at
for a
me.
close-up.
If they could point it somewhere else, that'd
Right,
be
the
better.
fact that you might be on it inadvertently or off in the corner wouldn't bother you then? It's just you don't want to focus and zooming in and showing your
Right.
freckles or something, right?
Right, exactly.
All right, thank you very much. Any counsel have questions of her? Mr. McIntyre, Mr. Thank you very much, ma'am. Step
Thanks.
down.
And we're walking away. There you go. No zoom in now.
All right, the record reflect that she has left the courtroom. Based on her statements, it would be my tentative decision to rescind my order, but to ask the camera operator if he could, when she's testifying, just use a wider angle lens and point the camera as it is now, sir, so that it's pointed off in a different direction and not show close-ups of her. I mean, you can get her on coverage, just don't show close-ups.
That's fine.
You have that capability?
Yes.
And for the record, would you state your name?
My name is Carl Nichols.
All right, you're operating the only electronic media camera that's in the courtroom, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Anything further?
Just one point.
My name is Michael Darden. I'm from the San Diego Union Tribune. I'm also a full photographer for AP and the rest of the newspapers. How would you like me to handle this situation?
Well, I think you probably got enough pictures of her from last week, don't you?
Well,
Nope.
Still pictures?
yeah, but I mean, they
Well-
want up-to-date stuff, and I need to tell them something. I mean, I'm shooting for a lot of people. It's not just our newspaper.
No, I understand that, but based on what she said, I assume if you could do it in a inconspicuous way and not take a bunch of pictures, go ahead. She's doesn't seem to be affected by you as much as the electronic camera, but, don't sit right in front of her and take a bunch of shots, okay?
I'll use inconspicuous.
You did a good job being inconspicuous. I mean that seriously. You've been doing a good job, and I don't hear your shudder or anything, so that's fine. And that's not a problem, so I think you can go ahead. Was there anything that the fellow on the line from San Francisco wanted to add to any of this?
I don't think so, Your Honor. He said that he had heard Mr. McIntyre's argument and seemed to cover all the bases.
All right, and is it okay to recess, Mr. McIntyre?
One small point, Your Honor. I know the court has to focus on the trial in front of it as to counsel. To the extent that there is the opportunity to give us, should these issues arise again, all things being equal, they probably will.
They come up on the spur of the moment, Mr. McIntyre. I
Fully
looked
understand.
around it this morning about 10:30.
To the extent that there is the opportunity to give me or my firm a call, there are four of us that do this kind of work, and it's simply a matter of putting on the fact sheets and getting down here. To the extent it's not possible, Your Honor, I fully understand it. I understand the court's focus is on the trial in front of the court. That's singularly appropriate. If there is the chance, we would like to be heard, and I'll just put that on the record now.
All right.
We will get down here as soon as we can at the earliest opportunity.
If there is another of these type of motions brought, I won't hear it till I've notified your office.
That'd be fine. Thank you
That's
very much.
assuming your office could be here within, say, half hour's notice.
Oh,
But I can't hold the trial up.
6 minutes, 8 minutes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll say within half hour.
I'll send the younger ones, they're faster than that.
I'll send the younger attorneys. They're faster.
Yeah.
I had two requests I'd like to make. It doesn't need to be on the record. Do it.
All right, let's go here within, say, half hour's notice.
Oh,
But I can't hold the trial up.
6 minutes, 8 minutes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll say within half hour.
I'll send the younger ones, they're faster than that. Thanks, Your Honor.
All right, we're in recess. Yeah.
I had two requests I'd like to make. It doesn't need to be on the record. Do it.
All right, let's go in chambers and do it so they can start bringing the public and the jury in here. The matter of the people of the state of California versus Elizabeth Broderick. Court finds all members of the jury panel are present. All counsel are present. Ms. Broderick is present. Ms. Lee Broderick.
Oh, show her walking in
Can you
again.
take the stand, please?
There she is. Oh, if you can maintain that shot, Mr.
This morning,
Cameraman.
ma'am?
Okay.
That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a few more questions for you, Ms. Broderick. You remember testifying that.
Make it
you
look
had
like
made a
you've got
statement
just
to
the judge.
Detective Allen
He pulled back.
on the morning that this occurred about some of the things that your mother said in relation to this newspaper.
Yeah, he stayed in the same position where he was zoomed in on the judge and just opened up the shot.
Article and what your dad said about it. This won't be over till one of us is coming. Do you remember testifying about that?
Yes.
And would it refresh your recollection to take a look at what you said to Detective Allen?
Yes.
If I can show her your interview with Detective Allen, page 17, lines 9 and 12. I'm just going to give that to your son. And do you recall specifically what your mother said about that?
I remember her saying that he had said it himself in the article.
And what did she say about that?
She just said that she this was me saying what had been said in the article. She had just told me that she was very upset that he had made that quote in the reader for all of Lola to read.
And didn't she tell you, so I guess one of us is gone now and it's over and I don't care if I live the rest of my life in jail?
I don't remember her saying that right now. She might have said that. I don't remember.
You do remember giving the interview to Detective Allen?
Yes, I do.
On that day?
Yes.
And were the events fresh in your mind on that day?
You're welcome, Kelly. Yeah.
Yes.
And were you telling Detective Allen the truth as best you knew at that day?
Not really. I lied to him about a few things, but I was trying to tell the truth about what my mom had said to me. Yes.
Okay. And that interview was tape recorded, correct?
Yes.
So I've zoomed in as much as possible without being completely ridiculous, but the resolution definitely dies at a certain point.
Your Honor, if I could, I'd like to have her just simply read that statement. That's
No.
recollection recorded.
Overruled. I mean, excuse me, to your objection, I know you're going to make it sustained. I assume you're making an objection.
Yes.
Sustained. No, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
You have indicated with respect to Christmas that your parents did, after the separation, before the divorce became final, they did do some sharing of Christmas. There were times when you spent the first week of vacation with your mother and a second week of vacation with your dad, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And were you aware of efforts that your dad made with your mother to get things settled about Christmas before Christmas came around?
No.
You don't know what kinds of discussions they had to settle those things?
No.
For example, in 1988, the Christmas before this particular year, do you recall your brothers spending the first week of Christmas and Christmas morning with your mother?
No, I don't really recall that Christmas very well.
Okay.
I don't remember where we were at that time.
And did you know that as with respect to 1989, the Christmas that was coming up, that your mother had set visitation for Thanksgiving and for Christmas that year?
I don't know. I have no idea.
When you turned 18 and you moved out and you got an apartment on your own, was that something that you wanted to do?
Yes. My father kicked me out a month before I turned 18, but when I was going to turn 18, it would be my decision to move out anyway. So I was not very upset when he asked me to leave.
That was something that you'd been wanting to do anyway.
Yes.
And there had been the night before that you had an argument with your dad, you had spent the whole night away from the house, right?
Well, my sister and I were over at my mom's house, and we didn't have a ride back to our dad's house. So we figured if we both spent the night, then he wouldn't get mad at us individually. So we both spent the night at my mom's house, and when we came back to my dad's house, he said he wasn't going to have us live in the house if we couldn't obey his rules.
He didn't know where you were all night, right? You hadn't called him.
Right.
And so he'd been worried and upset you guys didn't come home and he didn't know where you were.
Right. I think he knew that we were over at our mom's house. So we told him that we were going over there. But he didn't know where we were at night. No.
And you had indicated that he had some set curfew rules that, and those were rules that sometimes you didn't want to obey.
Yes.
And with respect to living down in the pool room for that period of time, when Kim came back from college, Danny had taken over your room after you moved out, is that correct?
Yes, he had my room remodeled into a boys' room, different wallpaper, different furniture. And my dad didn't want to kick Danny out of the room that he had just moved into.
And living in the pool room wasn't anything that you were particularly upset about, you didn't mind that?
I didn't mind.
Did your dad or Linda ever do anything sexually inappropriate in front of you or the boys?
No.
And with respect to the argument about your mother's old set of china, there were two sets of china when your parents separated, correct?
Yes.
And your mother got the newer set and your dad got the older set, right?
I don't know how they got which set. All I know is that we had a set of wedding china and a set of decoration china.
Okay. And so were you aware at all of whether or not your mother had even requested that set of china during the divorce?
No.
This was something that, well, several people thought that it was kind of a silly argument, didn't they, about the china?
Linda thought it was a silly argument. My dad thought it was a silly.
No, that's just
argument.
yeah.
My mom, it was a big deal to my mom.
I thought I
She
fucked
had sentimental value in it, and she didn't understand why they were keeping it from her if they had their own wedding china.
Especially if they thought it was
Were you
silly.
around when Brad Wright had conversations with
They
your
thought it
mom
was
too?
silly,
that
just
thought
give it
that
to her.
was a silly argument?
No.
Heard about that?
No.
Were you around very often when Brad was around your mother?
Yes.
Did your mother ever threaten to kill Linda because of the wedding china?
No.
You think that had anything to do with why she killed Linda?
No.
Were you aware at all whether or not Linda was advised by an attorney about whether she should turn over the china or continue to turn over things to your mother?
All I know is that she said she had put money into the set, and she wasn't going to lose the money that she put into the set. She figured it was hers, that she spent money replacing the chipped pieces. Therefore, it was hers, and she put it in a safe place where my mom wouldn't find it.
You had described one incident where you saw the gun, your mom's gun in her pocket.
Yes.
And do you recall telling Detective Allen that your mom had the gun in her pocket every time your dad came over?
Yes, I remember telling him that, but
First of all, I'm going to object to this, Your Honor. I didn't even go into that area. And
Yes, he did, Your Honor.
I believe you went into it on direct last week, Ms. Wells. I don't recall him going into it on cross.
No, I believe he did go into it on cross.
I don't think
He did
so.
ask questions about it.
Did you ask questions about the gun in the purse?
Oh, it was my recollection on Thursday, not today.
I'm looking at Thursday,
Yeah.
my Thursday notes.
Sorry, court reporter made the biggest squeak there.
I only had notes of him asking her questions about where the gun was kept in the house and whether the boys had seen it. I don't have anything. It's him talking to her on cross about the one incident that you brought out on direct of it being in the pocket of the robe.
Well, did the boys ever talk to you about seeing a gun in their mom's pocket?
No.
No, I'm just gonna check as just to repeating things, so it's repeated.
Well, no answer stands.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Early.
Trying to get the family to like her. Was that always what her attitude was? Was that at first, or was it always that way?
She went out of her way to be nice to us at first so that we would accept her into the family. But then once she had moved in, she started to try and discipline us. Like she was our mom or something. She tried to make rules, and that's when the problems with Linda and I started happening. She started to tell us what to do, started to tell us when we could have money and when we couldn't.
You're not my mom. Every step parent's favorite.
Started to tell us things like that, and I didn't feel that was her place to tell us what to do.
Were those rules different than your dad was setting?
Yes.
You indicated, was there a time that there was you wanted to buy your mother a present for Christmas? You weren't given any money for it?
Objection, Your Honor, beyond the scope.
Sustained.
You said that you used to talk to your mother or complain to your mother about things, and your sister did. Was there a difference? How did your sister talk to your mother about what was going over at your father's house? Was she calm?
My sister is a lot more emotional than me. She would often cry and be very upset. She's easily upset, and if she would get upset about something over at my dad's house, she would come to my mom all upset and crying, and she would tell her what was wrong and what was bothering her. She was always really emotional about it.
When you talk about the first time you got to drive the Jaguar, what was your father's condition after he picked you up?
Well, he was pretty intoxicated. He didn't want to drive the car, and he couldn't drive the car. Him and Linda fell asleep in the back seat on the way home. And I drove to Hillcrest in the Jaguar.
And were there other times where you learned of statements from your father about passing out drunk at bars and establishments?
Objection, Your Honor. It's beyond the scope of your saying and
Sustained.
Your Honor, she asked a question about whether he was an alcoholic, whether her opinion was he was an alcoholic.
That's true.
So,
Her opinion was that it wasn't, so he's not.
that he wasn't. Well, I would think I can impeach it with things that she considered
All
that.
right, go ahead.
Yeah, all right.
Did you know of stories of your father getting drinking so that he would go to sleep in parking lots?
Yes.
Now, you testified about the dogs and indicated that you talked to me about testimony in this case, have you not?
Yes.
And who was it that brought up the dogs? Was it you or I?
I believe it was me.
Okay. And when your father would come home, how would those dogs react to your father?
The dogs were afraid of my dad. They knew what his voice sounded like, and they knew that they would get kicked if they were around. So they'd run outside or into the kitchen or somewhere. They wouldn't come up to him for affection like they did to everyone else.
And
Lola
when you said
doesn't
it
like
was no
this
big deal,
testimony.
were you saying, well, that's just what my father's like, or were you saying that the dogs like to get kicked?
Well, it's no big deal to me and my family because that's always the way my dad has been. He's always hated dogs. He never wanted us to get the dogs in the first place, and it was just no big deal to me because that's the way my dad was.
Isn't that crazy,
Now,
Lola?
what did I tell you about? Did you at some point in
I don't
time
think she wants to be on
call
camera
about
today.
things that were being said in the courtroom?
Yes,
by other people. And were you upset about it?
yes,
Why?
because I thought that things are being over exaggerated and under exaggerated. I just felt that the truth wasn't coming out exactly as it's supposed to be.
And what did and did you feel that some of that was over exaggerated against your mother?
Yes,
And what were you told about, what did I tell you about your testimony, what you should do?
you told me to tell the truth because and not to try and take sides, but to just tell the truth and
That doesn't work.
say what I remember.
Maybe.
Did I ever tell you not to say bad things about your mother if you knew them?
No, you told me to tell the truth about the bad things my mother did,
Okay.
not to try and cover them up in any way, but to just tell the truth.
And at some point in time, did you ever talk about it's uncomfortable for you to come in here and say bad things about your mother and father?
Yes,
And that's not something easy for you to do.
no.
A little Lola moment without disturbing
I
her.
have no further questions.
Ms. Wells,
None, Your Honor.
witness be excused.
Your Honor, I would like if we could just approach the bench one moment, I'd like to just ask to reopen, ask the one pleasant question as to the presence.
I don't have any problem with that, Ms. Wells, do you?
Can we approach that first?
All right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Why she didn't want to get up, right? Come feed her.
At some point in time where you asked your father about getting some money to buy your mother a Christmas present.
Yes.
Okay, and would he give you any money to do that?
No, he told us to save our
Objection, Your
allowance.
Honor. I think it was a yes or no question.
All right, everything, well, the answer can stand.
I have no further questions at this time.
Cross on that, Ms. Wells.
Just a minute, yes. Do you recall an incident, Ms. Broderick, where in 1985, when your dad took all of you kids to go buy presents for your mother, and you all went over to her house to give them to her, and she wouldn't open the door?
No,
Mr. Earl, witness be excused.
Subject to recall.
I have no objection.
All right, you're excused, subject to recall. Thank you very much, ma'am.
thank you.
Tell me you kicked the dog. All right, so who's going to testify to start off the day tomorrow? What did I do? I turned off my background camera. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, it's probably when I connected my phone as a device and the MacBook stopped broadcasting the background. Well, here I am in the Dundee Crime Attic. I have a dartboard over my shoulder there.
Your last name?
Sometimes we can play darts.
Maria Peralta. Peralta. Thank you.
Maria Peralta. Maria Peralta will not be shown. This gives me time to come up with an avatar for Maria Peralta. That concludes today's testimony. Now, I did have something in the background. I had a little info on CourtTV. That's not it. I think that page. Oh, that's what I was going to read too. I think I had some prison love letters to read. Oh. Okay, I've got a few different things going on. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience... Are you guys experiencing buffering? Sorry about that. Pull me. Oh, we'll turn off the GIFs. Or you guys have subscribed if you're here at this point. Distracting anyway. There. All right. What was I going to do before? Oh, we'll look up what's going on Besides Maria Peralta, it'll be the end of the state case. No, that's it. So 4 hours, 35 minutes. So I'd say it's going to be a 6 hour, and it's going to be 6 hours at the end of my 12-hour shift. So it could be an 18-hour stream. Same time, 9:30, we'll start it. And, well, it won't be an 18-hour stream. It'll be 18 hours of me being awake. So I'll be silly by the end of the stream. So if you're going to tune in at any point, tune in late. And then you can always rewind it to see what happened earlier. But I think it's going to be the most fun near the end. Stuff. Lola's happy. Betty Broderick's prison love letters. Read the summary, and then I noticed that there was full. Aren't very long. Dear Brad, I check the dates regularly. So for I have not yet. Oh, okay. No, they did summarize these up top. Yeah, it's a lot easier to read up there. Okay, we'll go back up and we'll just read a little bit of it because it was surprisingly Sarah-like. So I'll read it in my Sarah voice. My Sarah voice is her internal dialogue, not anything like she sounds like, but capture her attitude. Aha. I check the obits regularly. So far, I've not seen yours. So where are you? And where is my money? Help! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. I need to see you. It's been too long. No Halloween card? Boo. No B-Day card? No Thanksgiving? No Christmas? No Happy New Year? How about Valentine's Day? Question mark, question mark. Today is September 17th. Today is September 14th, and I still don't have the August money. Please send me August and September. This place is stressful enough without stressing over the money every month. So, somebody better call Brad. Brad, do you still have your same cell phone? No, it's 2006. My 1991 cell phone's no longer viable. All right. This has been a fun stream. I'm not going to stay online much longer because I have to use the bathroom, and that's important to do. It's been a fun stream. You guys are the finest. You're the dandiest. Let me just open up the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, Cowboy. Speaking of the Cowboy Criminology is doing his first ever live tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time. I think that's 8 Eastern. It's 5 Pacific. So if you want to support Cowboy Criminology, Cowboy Derek doing his first live, I can't be there because I got to go to bed now to wake up in 7 hours from now for my 12-hour shift that I'm going to do before my 6-hour live stream. So say hi for me and give him all your support if you're online around that time. I'm sure he appreciates it. If you haven't checked out his videos, he's got... They're great bedtime videos, and not because it's not interesting. Like, he's just got a nice, even cadence. Like, nothing is said in a hurry. Like, I know I've got lots of ups and downs. His is just kind of peaceful. It's got that nice Southern Texas drawl. And he's got really great insight onto, the body cams from the Sarah Boone case, the interrogation, and even a little bit on her pro se moments. So check out his back catalog and check out his live tonight. I think that's about it. You guys are fine. I'm Dan D. This is the end of today's stream. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, I'm gonna get that clip into my next. I'm gonna set it up on my package here. Good night. Good morning.